and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Yo.
Welcome, you're connected to the wrong mic. Chill. GM.
Jesus Christ.
What's up, boy?
Good.
Shaw. There we go. You're crispy now.
Crispy. Crypto. Welcome, guys. Another banger week for MCG. Got a nice stream schedule here for the week. We start with our first interview today at about 12:30. So a couple things to cover before we start. But man, dude, how was the weekend?
Holy. I'll tell you about the weekend, boys. As you guys know, I'm based out in Orlando, so I can get down to, South Florida pretty quickly, pretty easily. So I was in Miami this weekend, just LARPing, doing the LARP lifestyle. And man, I will tell you guys, if you haven't been to Miami, it's not for the faint of heart. It is not for the weak. Every time I go, I'm just like, I love Miami. I could not live here. And I'll detail you the experience. I'll walk you guys through what you're going to have to be prepared. Like, if you're not paid, don't go to Miami. Do not go to Miami, because every meal you have, it's going to be at least $50, if you're getting one drink with it. Auto grat every time, automatically paying gratuity. So it gets you on that if you're like double tipping.
Auto grat.
Which is crazy. How auto gratuity does, it doesn't even make sense. How do you add auto gratuity? Aren't tips supposed to be if you do above and beyond service? And we're giving auto gratuity. That kind of defeats, just on the menu, just add 18%. Just do that, right? I don't. So tipping culture obviously is miserable in Florida. It's terrible in Miami because everything's auto gratuity. Not my problem. That's like the least of my concerns. So if you go to Miami, here's what's going to happen. If you're a man, this is, or you don't know somebody, you're going to Miami, and if you're doing the super clubs, if you're going to 11, you're going to Club Space, you're going to Live, you're paying anywhere from $50 to $200 to get into the club. Okay, so what's happening is you're going out, you're spending a fortune on drinks, spending a fortune to get in the club before the night's even over. If you're partying all night, and of course in Miami, you're going out at 12 a.m. right? 1 a.m. is when the day starts. So for example, you're going to 11, let's just say. You go into 11 at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., probably even later, 2 a.m., paying $50, $100 to get in, whatever you're paying, spending $20 a drink. And then if you're a bachelor, you're doing your thing out there, these girls, these people know what they're doing. They'll take you for all your money. So you're spending that much money to get into the first club. Then you're going across the street and going to Club Space all night. And these guys are partying from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you're walking out of the club with the sun out, spending another $150 to get $100 to get in, more on drinks. And then if you want to do the jet ski, if you really want to LARP in Miami, you're spending another $150 on jet skis for an hour. If you want to do a boat, you're spending $2,000 on the boat for the day. If you're doing brunch, going to Cactus Club or something nice, like, dude, by the time you're done with Miami for a weekend, a real good weekend, you're in the hole for like multiple thousands of dollars. So just don't go to Miami if you're not paid. And it's not, again, like not for the faint of heart. So that's the thing. I feel like I'd go to Miami. I could live there if I was doing the chill thing. I was just doing Brickell, just doing Wynwood, hanging out by the beach. But I just know if I couldn't. I would go to Miami and I'd be doing super clubs every single weekend. And I'd be exhausted. Like, I'm dragging today, boys, to be completely honest with you guys. But
tough weekend. Y'all try to tell me I had a rough weekend last weekend because I came back sick. But no, like Dom out here is dragging his feet today.
No, I'm not sick, no. I'd rather be tired than sick.
A little sick. Oh my God.
My mom got COVID the other week, man. Way. So yeah, people are getting sick. I didn't even know COVID was still a thing, to be honest.
Yeah, nah, still is. All right, let's get down to it. So we got a couple minutes till our next interview. Let's run through some things here this morning. So as you guys can see, the title, Crypto Pulling Back, what's next? What's next? Pretty much, if you've been watching this stream for any length of time, you know exactly what's coming. Let me share the Bitcoin chart real quick for you boys, and we can get into it. Boom, let's add that to the stage. All right. Let's do that. No, let's do that. All right. So here's the Bitcoin chart. Pretty much, from a high time frame, this is on the 2-week. This is exactly what we're looking at. We're down in an area of demand, high on a higher time frame, expecting a bounce. Right now, though, locally, the trend, we are closer to resistance than we are support. We've talked about this fair value gap, this breaker. We've talked about this area of resistance, whatever you want to call it, whatever fancy TA terms you want to put on it. We've been talking about this for a long time. I was down here. On stream. I'm leaving all of my drawings up on stream because so you guys can see. We're talking about this area down here, and maybe I zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit more clearly, kind of where we are locally. But we call this bounce here at 60K, and I told you guys, look, at the very least, we're heading into resistance, so be careful. I would like to see a liquidity sweep. So I'm still leaving room for that possibility. Maybe we go up for our liquidity sweep there at 67.2K. But at the least, looks like we're headed back down to sub 60K levels. So that's still the expectation. Not sure when that it becomes truly a reality. But I'm not here to, from a timing perspective, try to time the market. I'm just here looking at where is price going to go next and what am I doing to prepare for that eventuality. So right now, preparing for some downside. So what am I doing? I'm keeping some capital on the side. So when we do get there, we're actually able to take advantage of any dips that we might have. Overall, my base case is basically something like what you see here from Killa XBT. I think we shared this with you guys last week. He doesn't think that there's going to be a sweep below 60K or a sweep below the lows, but I think there's going to be a sweep below our recent sub 60K low, because as you can see here, our recent low was put in at 57.7. I think we breached that. We make new lows, we recover quickly, and we just turbo send it. We do have our next guest in the waiting room. While you're waiting for us to bring you up there, Vinaya, if you can put a profile picture on if you're going to stay anon, but if you're not going to stay anon, then you should be good to go. We'll pull you up here in just the next few minutes. But that's the overall kind of macro take there for Bitcoin. I mean, anything that's changed for you, Dom? I think. Do you think this is like the bottom coming up, or do you feel like we still have some more chop?
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Lows?
I mean, we're taking a lot of time in this range here. So the only thing I would say is the way this price action is starting to develop, it looks more like we're in a longer phase B, which is, so if you understand how institutions operate in the financial markets, they have to accumulate orders. They can't just put in one buy and twop and just be in, right? We talk about Meteora, how they're automated market makers and you can fill orders and positions by providing that liquidity. Same thing needs to happen for institutions. So what they do is they build out these schematics. That's where like the Wyckoff, Wyckoff is derived from. It's how institutions are filling orders. And so earlier into this price action, I said, okay, bottom might be in, and this looks like a spring. Now we're moving up. And that the second circle you have there on the bottom, it does resemble the price action of like a type 1 accumulation for Wyckoff, but on a lower time frame. So now that we're drawing out, we've been seeing in this range for longer, this kind of seems to me like a phase B of an accumulation cycle, which is when a lot of the orders of institutions get filled. And so typically with that, what happens one last time is they either test below the range, which would act as a spring to fill final orders and then show that the demand is here and sellers are exhausted and then they move it up, or a test into the zone where they, again, a type 2 would be kind of like a head and shoulders where they would test without going below the range and sweeping. So I kind of feel like that's where we're at. It's either type 1 or type 2 here is my thinking. And we're clearly accumulating. And again, historically, there's lots of indicators flashing bottoms in. So no, my thesis, that's a long way of me saying my thesis hasn't changed at all. I am bullish. I think anywhere in or around this area, in this zone, in this range is probably a good DCA. And so no, nothing's really changed. It just goes back to the notion that you're not gonna time the bottom. Your goal should be capturing 70% of the move, right? So getting in, around, or at the bottom, or when you start seeing signs of reversal, and getting out towards historical tops, right? You're not going to capture the whole move. You're not going to bottom tick. So average out. If you get an average entry of 64,000, if you get an average entry of 57,000, it's not going to be a big deal in the grand scheme of things if you believe Bitcoin's going to be going to 300K. And of course, if you are buying both of them, hopefully you get the average in between, right? So thoughts have not changed. I think 4-year cycle has historically held up. It's playing out exactly like it should be. I was unsubscribed to that methodology here going into this cycle, but it has played true. And again, largely Bitcoin overhang and supply is held by the whales still, who do subscribe to a 4-year cycle. So you have to kind of play into that. I think not much has changed. The only thing that's really changed is maybe bottom gets swept one more time. But I think in or around the zone, you're looking pretty good. So my DCA is on long-term DCAs. I think Josh or Chill, you want to bottom in August, was it?
There you go. You see it right there on the chart. Yep, bottom in August. And then we start printing higher lows. So yeah, that thesis hasn't changed. I mean, if you guys have been watching us for any length of time, you've literally seen the same thing drawn out on my chart for the last like 5 months. I've been telling you guys, back in April that this whole thing is going to play out, and there are a million reasons for that we're not going to get into today. But we have our next interview. We're going to do some housekeeping before we get started. As you guys know, it's something we do every stream. There's about 160 of us here. Appreciate you guys. We've been only running the show for a few minutes so far. But there's 2 things for us to do, and you guys probably already did it, but just in case you haven't, go to @MCG Live. We're going to do two things. You're going to go @MCG Live on Twitter, and you're going to hit follow. Make sure you're following the main account. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, going through projects, interviewing crack founders, quality projects in the space, and highlighting the best builders that we can find. As you scroll down, dude, we're at 13.1K. This was just like 10K not too long ago. So we appreciate the love and the support that we've been receiving on these streams. As you scroll down, you'll notice our pinned tweet. Here's our title. You want to just go ahead and hit like and retweet. Simple things. So those are the two things you'll do. Just go to the main account, hit follow, hit like and retweet on the quote tweet there. And you can even like and retweet the main instance. But today on the show, we'll have Order Trade first. They're coming on here at 12:30. They're from the Futardio ecosystem, and then we'll have the homie Corey come back from PO at 1:15. So with that said, let's not hold it back. I'll just give it to Dom to intro our segment.
Gentlemen, ladies, we got Vinaya coming up from Order Trade. This is really interesting. One thing we've talked about thesis-wise a lot is just a thesis around MetaDAO. It's very clear that Chill is a huge fan of MetaDAO. I'm a huge fan of MetaDAO. One thing has become very, very clear and apparent is that a lot of people from all aspects of the circle here are really enjoying what MetaDAO is offering. It took a year. It took a lot of hardship, grinding, legwork to really prove this model out. But again, we saw Credible launch recently was incredibly successful. That was on their curated side. On their non-curated side, or their decentralized permissionless side, the Futardio platform, we saw Rip Cars raise an incredible round the other day. So we're starting to see this trend happen to where it's like, okay, traders, teams, and operators are really liking MetaDAO because of the things it offers in terms of actually getting really great distribution for your product from day one, bootstrapping a community, working as an attention vector. And now from the other side, we're also seeing investors that are looking for real value actually are preferring this model, especially liquid funds who now can buy a meaningful percentage of supply and actually raise votes and proposals that dictate the direction of these protocols, right? So from all aspects, it's become very, very valuable. And we're seeing the Futardio platform really start to gain legs. In the early days, it took a while to get started. We saw a meme on there. Nothing really stuck. But now we're starting to see a lot of teams kind of queue up and get in line because they want to get the benefits of MetaDAO and Futardio. And so I think this is a big thing that we're seeing with Order Trade. It seems like they're really embracing this. So we're going to talk to them about the product, what they're offering, get the full breakdown A to Z, and see if this is something that's investable. But nonetheless, very interested for this conversation. So let's pull up our next guest from Order Trade. Welcome to the show, Viana.
Hey, GM guys. GM, how are you all doing on this fine day?
We are doing well. How are you doing on this fine day? Because if I am looking to my left here, it seems like you guys just went live on Futardio. So it's a big milestone.
Yeah, definitely. So we had the raise amount of 150K. It got filled in 5 seconds, and like half hour later, it's at 3.1 million. Thanks to all the investors and all the supporters that backed us. And like Futarki is the way. Long live Futarki.
This is this is becoming a trend now. We had Rip Cars on the moment they went live. I didn't even check. So you guys are already filled the raise, which is huge. Congratulations. Incredibly successful. I'll pull that up here in a second as well. But just walking this back a little bit, what was your thoughts going into it? Obviously, we've seen that the Futardio platform is really starting to gain a lot of attention, and like it's got a really nice investor base. Were you like expectations going into this? Did you think you were going to have to really grind it out, and maybe last day we get the fill? Were you expecting the fill in 15 seconds? Like, what was your thinking here?
Yeah, definitely. It was a mixed feeling, to be frank, because the market conditions, as we know, is kind of like that. Like as you guys were discussing, it is down for a rebound, but it was not happening. Every day when we look at our charts, it was always going down. So it was kind of like, where we were having mixed thoughts. When we had positive news, we thought like we could raise even faster. But when there were setbacks happening, we were doubting ourselves. Never the thesis, but what should be our plan of action. So those kind of thoughts were definitely going, because I would be lying if I say it didn't happen. But the thing is, as soon as it went down, it went live, I was personally trying to commit myself, and it just went 404. So we didn't understand like what was happening. But then one of my co-founders, Ravi, was continuously calling out the amount, and I was counting here, and within 5 seconds it got filled. And that was like an incredible moment for us because we have been working so hard pushing this thesis, definitely being vocal about it. We appeared in different shows, and we have been continuously trying to gain attention to bring our thesis forward. So there were moments of doubt, but never doubt on Futarki. That's what this proved, actually.
I think you're muted there, Don.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. And I got the raise page pulled up here, which is incredible to look at. $3.2 million committed, again, just after going live. And this is becoming the trend we're seeing. You guys will be launching an implied valuation of 387K. We're going to talk about tokenomics, talk about implied FDV, your thinking behind all this in a second. But incredibly successful. I guess you just said, it was never a doubt that you guys were going to go with this Futarki platform and style. I want to get into that a little bit, and I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. I want to get to know you better. But before that, I want to ask, how did you come across MetaDAO and Futarki, and maybe get in contact with Mitchell or Profit or someone from the MetaDAO team that got you excited about this?
Yeah, definitely. So before that, I'll just give a brief intro about myself. So I'm Vinaya. I have been a software developer for the past 4 years and have been in the Solana ecosystem for the past 2 years. So even my founders, we are like a team of 4, and we formed and we met in Twitter spaces where we are low-level engineers who wanted to discuss validator internals, more about Solana, consensus mechanism. We formed a study group and later came on to creating order. The major thinking was Solana need to lead in it has to become the best chain there is for every real world assets, whether it should be spots, whether it should be perps. So that's how order was born. So how it came out to be, the thesis also was really incredible. We were pushing the open market making on Solana. So yeah, coming across MetaDAO, as I said, we have been there for 2 years, and I did hear the term Futarki a long while because it was coined by Robin Hanson, and we were really excited about how you vote on beliefs, but to increase the value of a particular thing. He coined it for the government and better structure, but this kind of applied to a raise structure, a launchpad, that was something revolutionary. So MetaDAO was the first in the first cohort of Colosseum, from which we actually followed MetaDAO really closely because it was really interesting. And Colosseum they were in the first cohort and they were gaining traction. I think the proper attention came as Umbra raised on them, where it went to $150 million. So that was a defining moment even for them, because even though there were 2-3 projects that raised before, but Umbra proved to be the biggest of them all. How we came into contact with Mitchell was basically through our expressions of Twitter, where we were building it for Colosseum itself. We had a conversation with him where we wanted to go through stamp method, it was Colosseum's mode of investment into MetaDAO, where if we won Colosseum, we wanted to go with that, but alas, we couldn't win. We were given an honorable mention and couldn't get into cohort. So the thesis was always there. We always wanted to go with MetaDAO, but yeah, the timeline just sped up because the traditional route was never something that we wanted to go with, because see, our thesis itself is open market making. If we can't do governance through Futarki, then how can we even stick on to our thesis? That was our major thought going into this product, going into this thesis.
Got you. I appreciate that answer. Yeah, it's been so validating, I think, seeing this come to life. When you think about giving holders really ownership, direct ownership over the business, some decisioning power and rights there, voting rights. Why is this important for you? Obviously, you had the choice and you chose to go with permissionless, decentralized version of raising rather than maybe the traditional VC route. Was this partially because you wanted the holders to have the shared upside in the business and really championing it, or what was some of the thinking behind, making sure holders had equal share and votes and rights in this business?
Definitely. One major thing is that Solana is already the king of spots, because we saw in bull market where $4 billion were easily traded in volume, just on Solana itself. So to enter into this competition, we had to create something of value. That means the protocol has to be of the people, and we have to include them. That's what I said, right? Like OpenMM pushes that thesis. Like anybody can market make. That's what we are saying. We even are including like institutional market makers, whoever comes into Solana. Like even we are trying to create a mobile app so that like you can market make from your mobile, just like how Meteora made LP like really easy through their across their protocol. So that's something that we are trying to push as our forefront. So giving that governance power to the people seemed exactly right. That's what the thought process behind the team was. You might have thought like, why not Metadog? Because of course we haven't proven ourselves with real volume. That is the one thing, because we needed actual funds to kind of like prove our volume, because spots is always about having that TVL, having that commitment towards like aggregator flow. So that's why we decided to go with Futadio, and as well as giving what's a part of governance, or like the complete governance of the protocol to the public itself.
Got you. I want to get into the details of the business, how this works, what the differences are. But even before that, I want to walk it back and kind of get a bit about yourself, your background. You mentioned you have a team of engineers and developers. Could you maybe just talk us through who's on the team, where you guys specialize in, and then just give us some more information on yourself, please.
Yeah, definitely. So we are a team of 4. I myself am the CEO, and I majorly focus on product outreach and as well as optimization within the protocol itself. We are all 4 engineers. We are all hardcore engineers. So yeah, I'm the CEO. Like all 4 of us do marketing. All 4 of us do coding. Like everything is divided itself. Avi handles Avi's the other one. Like he is the CTO. He handles most of the technical oversight. Manu is third co-founder. He's like a top class security engineer, and he handles all our security. And Arjun is the CEO. He also contributes to the protocol, and like he mainly handles BD and outreach. So yeah, these are the 4 people. We are devs who turned into marketers, product managers, and as well as video editors. If you can see our profile, we had always been expressive in Twitter, connecting with our community through different form of articles, videos, and pushing our thesis. So yeah, we have been doing this all on ourselves. 4 devs are pushing this. All of us specialize in low level engineering, and this has been I am one of the engineers in Solana who write assembly level code for optimization. So we are always about that engineering, and we wanted to solve a real engineering problem that is existing on Solana, which is the micro market structure that is present now.
Got it. Interesting. And how did you guys all meet each other?
It is definitely through crypto Twitter, because we have been always active there, and so we kind of most of us ship code and post it publicly, asking people to review it. So that's how we also met. We gave feedback to each other, and we thought, hey, this is really nice. So what if we could form a group and study together, or research together regarding the protocol level, bugs, or optimizations, everything. So that's how we met. It was CT. It was completely CT, because all 4 of us are different parts of India. So it was never in real life. It was always through CT. And we are grateful for that also. The community, the crypto community is really good. Whether it's engineering side or degen side, it holds itself up to a standard. And we were really grateful that we met each other through CT itself.
Got it. Okay, help us understand the problem and solution here that you guys kind of solve for. I want to get the thinking behind, okay, why does order need to exist? What was the problem? And then what's the solution you guys are offering? And just give me the broad idea of what the landscape of this marketplace looks like, so we can really understand, I guess, as well as you do, what this business model is.
Yeah, definitely. So order books are something that is most important in case of traditional finance. Even NASDAQ runs on that. So traditional finance has the bottleneck of AMMs, existing as of now, which are one of the most important solutions that drove Solana, Ethereum, and everything to its forefront as of now. But for the real liquidity to come in, you need precise level of price control, which order books does handle. Solana had this bottleneck of where if you try to land multiple transactions at the same time, whichever which has more priority fees, or depending upon other factors, only one of them lands faster. So you guys might remember October 10th, 2025, where the entire market crashed. these market makers who are the actual providers of liquidity tried to rush and cancel their orders, which didn't happen because they were racing to compete. So this was an important problem because they were facing this incredible throttle, even though Solana was one of the best networks in this, in our internet, which was leading the internet capital markets race. So Order exists to solve these problems. Order is essentially a next generation of order book, which gives market makers their own private accounts, capital efficiency, and as well as very, very cheap repricing, so that they can update their books or keep on refreshing their books before toxic arbitrage picks them off. Why this is important is that for traders, this is actually important because if you protect market makers, they're going to offer you tighter spreads and as well as better liquidity so that they feel safe and they are ready to fund your swaps. So this is what Order is offering. It is offering private accounts for market makers so that they can trade better and they don't face the right law contention because each of them has a separate order book. We are aggregating them so that they can get individual updates faster. Plus, we are really relying on efficiency. Why this is important is that the best platform right now for spot volume in Solana is PropAMM. You might have heard about them. They made a wave in 2024 mid where single market makers created a lot of spent a lot of revenue to actually spin up their own proprietary AMMs, which provided the best and efficient liquidity. But this restricts it, right? There only a single market maker can actually create. So what if tomorrow Wall Street tries to come in? They have to create their own PropAMMs from scratch, hiring Solana engineers, spending on R&D and creating their own version of PropAMM so that they can provide the best liquidity. So that's what Order eliminates. Order becomes an infra layer for where market makers like this can come and market make without spending much, just investing in spinning up their own order books on Order and market making themselves. And Order will handle the routing by the traders so that they can swap through the market makers. So yeah, this is the general problem that is existing currently, and this is what Order aims to solve.
Got it. And so if you guys are looking to grow, I guess what's the best way forward with that? More partnerships with more AMMs gives you access to more order books, and you can combine those into an aggregated one. Am I understanding that correctly?
No. We have to create partnerships more with the market makers because aggregators will route through us. We are the infra. We do not have to go and combine with AMMs because they are their own infra, right? So we are our own infra. We create multiple order books for market makers. Not exactly. They can come to our platform and create their own order book so that they can market make themselves. We just provide the venue. We are the middleman who sit in the middle, providing the infra, the efficient code so that you can market make ourselves. Why this is important on both platforms is that Order is going to start creating markets for blue chip assets like Sol USDC and all. But when retail comes in, this also proves to be an advantage for them, where they can market make for high tail assets and meme coins also. So as Order progresses down the line, it is going to be an umbrella of different assets, real world assets, blue chip, and as well as high tail assets that are going to be market made in Solana. So this pushes the angle on all sides.
Got you. So I'm trying to understand, is this a decentralized permissionless offering, or is this, because I also heard you mention private accounts, private order books, and then as well as retail coming in and helping market make some of these. So it seems like there is maybe a private side, but also it is a permissionless angle you guys are pursuing as well. Maybe help me understand, is this permissionless or is this going to be private?
It is going to be completely permissionless, but as soon as the protocol matures a bit, because initially we have to make a bit of strategic partnerships, but yeah, that is going to last very little. As soon as we release our mobile apps, it is going to go into the permissionless mode where anybody can market make, and we are going to open the protocol for everyone. So yeah, it is going to be permissionless, just as our initial security audits are complete, because that is the most important thing, right? DeFi is getting hacked left and right. We have to audit the protocol completely. There is assembly level code in this protocol, so it has to be made secure. So that's our number one priority, and then after that it will be open to everyone to market make.
Got you. And you mentioned having some of these private accounts and these relationships are very important. Could you maybe touch on that a little bit further and talk about how these relationships are important, how that helps you guys with getting better spreads? What are some of the benefits of building and forging these relationships?
Yeah, definitely. So market makers are one of the most important aspects of any liquid markets because they provide the most amount of liquidity that a trading firm can use to actually market make. So giving this level of protection is actually important for them because that's how they have an insurance for creating giving better spreads. Because see, if you are going to lose your money, think from a perspective of a market maker. If you're going to lose money to MEV and arbitrage bots, you're of course going to push your trades further, right? You are going to push your spreads further. So the guarantee, even we approached a lot of market makers, like even before the race went live, what they wanted us to prove is that we have to market make ourselves to prove the thesis. That is the only thing that they wanted. If the tech works, they are ready to invest. We had like multiple talks with market makers. Of course, I can't disclose as of now because we need to sign them to bring them in. But yeah, that was the general thesis they were all putting forward. You guys have to market make so that we can trust you and bring you in. So trust in this ecosystem is really important because market makers really trust the code. So code is divine. That's what we need to prove. And these partnerships are really important because the spreads, we ultimately serve both fronts, like the traders and as well as the market makers. The traders have to get the best results, and for that the market makers need to be protected. So yeah, I hope I'm clear on that front.
No, makes a ton of sense. Crypto Jones has a really good question here as well. So we can earn fees by providing liquidity for perps. Is this going to be a spot for spot assets or perps?
It is going to debut as spots. Order will debut as spots, and then it will transition into perps. But that is down the line. We have to conquer spots so that we can go into perps. Basically. But yeah, the fees part, it's kind of like correct where you earn by providing spreads. So fees will be there, taker fees will be there, and by providing liquidity, you will be able to gain amount from that. Yeah. So yeah.
And would this mechanism look similar to something like Meteor has right now, where you just select a range, provide liquidity?
Yeah, definitely. Gotcha. We are going for the same familiarity because Meteora, raised the Meteora army because of its simpleness. So we are also going to be really simple and where everyone can use this with just few clicks. That will be the aim.
Got it. And what does the business model look like for you guys in terms of are you pulling from some of the fees generated, some basis points here? Maybe walk us through what the business model on your end looks like.
Yeah, definitely. So of course it is going to be from trader side. We will be charging a small amount of taker fees from every trader who comes into the platform, which is standard happens. But yeah, maker side, we won't be charging fees because we have to bring as much makers as we can. So makers, we won't be charging fees, but yeah, of course, takers will be, we will be charging fees.
Okay, got it. What are the numbers on some of those fees? Is it how many basis points?
So we haven't decided on exactly the number because we have to first dry run public mainnet. We only ran a private mainnet to collect feedback on our mainnet integrations. But yeah, it will come around a good number because spot volumes, even if you check other prop AMMs who are running as of now, it's crazy numbers. There are prop AMMs who are generating 6 million, 7 million per year from simple sold USDC pairs. So yeah, Order also aims to achieve that level of amount. So yeah, to say.
What does competition look like for something like this? Are you seeing a lot of competitors pop up? Who would be somebody that I guess maybe would provide a lot of competition? Because you just mentioned a 6-7 figure revenue number for another prop AMM, I believe it was. Who is competition in the space to you guys?
Definitely, all existing protocols who serve spot liquidity is going to be competition for Order. I won't mask it at that. But everyone is kind of gets their own shares because every time a swap comes in, it doesn't depend upon it only depends upon what is the best price that is offered at that time. That's how all aggregators treat your flow. So if order is best at that point of time, we will definitely get the flow. So by even taking the average of all the protocols that exist, most of the protocols of spot volume generate good amount of liquidity and earn fees also. Of course, this is a bit down because this is currently a bear market. But yeah, as bull comes in, like it is going to be really huge. As I mentioned, right, like 4 billion was the spot volume back when it was like, it was going really good. So yeah, there is competition, but everyone eats well, I guess.
Well, and you kind of just touched on it a little bit, but maybe if we further kind of lean into this conversation, what's a bit of that go-to-market strategy here to really set yourself up for success and bringing the traders to you guys rather than some of this competition?
Yeah, definitely. So the one thing that I would like to emphasize is that order being like, even though we are pushing like on a single side, order being a simple infra, if you stand from that point, uh, aggregators would be our major consumers, not even traders, to be frank. Like, I'll be open here, because if we get integrated with Jupiter, Titan, like, other major aggregators here, traders won't even have to come on top, like, into order to trade, because they will swap from Jupiter and directly will get routed to order if we are the best liquidity providers. Because many of the prop AMMs on Solana don't even have a front end. They directly integrate into aggregators and like, trade. So of course, aggregator liquidity is going to be one of the major defining factors that is going to drive our success. And yeah, traders, why we are including the trader like angle also, because we need that kind of a community to actually be successful, because that is evident from how Meteora has carried itself. You can say we are kind of like, following Meteora's like playbook, where we want traders to actually come in, where they market make themselves, so that for like, lesser known pairs, these traders can actually provide better liquidity and other people can trade. But yeah, definitely aggregators are going to be our best form of success, like, the routing the volume entirely through us. That will be the best, like I will say, the best case scenario in, if for order to happen, like routing like 90% of volume. I know it won't happen, but even capturing 30% of the volume that goes through aggregators is going to be a really big win, because that number is going to be really crazy.
Can you talk through that number a little bit? You said even if capturing 30% of aggregated volume, will be a really big one. We know there's a ton of volume and we know there's a ton of money in this space.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have any case studies or any numbers or examples you could kind of pull up, to prove this case. But I think that would really help us kind of wrap our heads around it.
Yeah, so I have like, I don't have my dashboard or anything ready, but to be frank, like, where like $1.1 billion daily was flowing through prop AMMs, if we can capture like 30% of it, and if we charge like 1 BPS or 2 BPS fees, like, on the trades, we can approximately generate, as I said, right, $6 million of revenue per year from just sold USDC pair. That's like what we calculated. Yeah, we have like other results, but I don't have my dashboard ready to show you guys. But yeah, definitely. But this you can definitely check in DeFi Llama of how these things are proceeding. It's like it's crazy number of how spot volume is actually moving through Solana, because you saw like SpaceX debuting in Solana like at the same time as Nasdaq, and it in just 1 week it did $200 million like, volume across like different exchanges in Solana. So this is only going to increase day by day, where like, different ICOs are going to come into Solana, where it's tradable. Like Backpack is issuing those securities also. So like, yeah, these things are like, taking a snowball effect, and this is not going to stop.
Yeah, I think this is also kind of interesting to kind of tie into your thesis here. We did see the SpaceX launch be incredibly successful, right? Sunrise just posted this today. Since the listing, over $1 billion in volume has flown through this, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, we saw, if you just look at the Solana stats in terms of RWAs and, spot equities like this, there was nearly no volume a year ago. And now within the last couple months, we've jumped from like a couple $1 billion to over $6 billion in volume. It's clearly picking up very quickly. Yeah. If I had to ask about your thesis on where, I guess, a lot of the volumes will be flowing in the future, at the start of Solana, maybe it was a lot of meme coins, maybe, Pump Fund, and people were providing liquidity over there. And today we're starting to see a lot more RWAs. In your mind, do we continue in this trend to where maybe RWAs flip even memes and crypto at some point, or native crypto tokens, I should say, at some point?
Yeah, no, like it is going to happen like within the next year, because the thing is like everything that can be traded will be traded on Solana. That's what we are seeing as of now. We are proving every thesis that everything that can be traded will be traded on Solana. That's what I want to iterate as of here. This will continue and this will keep on trending, because we know that there are protocol upgrades. I don't know if I could say that, like Alpenglow is coming to Solana, where finality is also getting reduced. So the chain is getting faster and faster due to Answer devs pushing it to the extreme standard. So Solana is going to be the best chain there is, and everything will come on chain. That I am a true believer of that. Just like how I believe in Futarki, I believe everything will come on chain. We are seeing centralized exchanges getting shut down. Even they are Bitmart said that future is on chain. So of course, all these real world assets and spot volume is going to go crazy in the next year.
And how are you guys positioning? And again, you've touched on some of this stuff, but I want to know this vision. It makes sense. It clicks for me. We see the numbers, right? It's not numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And the numbers are here. And so with that being said, how are you guys positioning to really capture this incoming market that's just, only growing?
So the one and only thing that we are ready with is our efficiency. That's what we have been doing, because you can see the race also. We just publicly voiced our efficiency, how efficient we are. That is what the only thing that we have told, because the best performing exchange in the coming years will have the best efficiency to actually create the best impact for the traders. So efficiency is our motto. That is what we are relying on. That is what we will rely on the future also. If you can beat us, we will be more efficient than you. That's something that we are positioning. And of course, we would love for the community to form around us, because community is what pushes forward. Even like Hyperliquid on the initial days, they were doing door to door, trying to raise market makers, but then they relied upon their community, which was a huge success. So efficiency and community, that's how we are positioning to conquer the spot race, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like efficiency is the key for all of this. I mean, again, you mentioned if you have the best efficiency, the best liquidity, the orders are going to route through you guys. There's no other way to put it. It's very simple. With that being said, you guys are long-term seasoned engineers building on Solana. How do you make your protocol the most efficient? What steps do you have to take to do that?
Yeah, definitely. So it should not be just be efficient. It should also embody security, right? So we use very low level optimization. As I said, we even have assembly code in our hot paths, which is it's pretty damn impressive if you ask me, because there are only very few protocols in Solana to actually use this level of optimization. I would like to thank my mentor Dean from Blueshift, who helped me in my initial journey to learning assembly. So yeah, optimizations are majorly done in assembly and as well as low level Pinocchio code. That's pretty deep level stuff where we squeeze out every CU, compute units from the protocol, so that hot paths can be really fast, but not compromising security. That is one of the most important aspects. Efficiency should not come at the cost of being risky. So that's something that we are keeping in mind.
Yeah, I mean, you even mentioned this earlier, the DeFi exploits in 2026 have been so brutal. I mean, we think this is partially fueled by the advent of AI becoming really powerful and finding some of these exploits and then taking advantage of them. And you guys just said, I mean, you just mentioned you're not willing to sacrifice security for efficiency. What are some of the steps you're taking to secure this and make sure that you guys don't have any leaks in the bucket that can possibly get exploited down the road?
Yeah, definitely. Manu, as I said, one of our co-founders is actually a good security researcher guy. He looks into a lot of common vulnerabilities and common code issues that happen. So every review would go through him. He's the one who reviews the codes. He's the one who definitely puts us to the top standards. So we have a multiple set of list we have, which we constantly monitor that our code adheres to. We keep our code to the highest standard. So yeah, everything passes through a security review internally. Plus, we do utilize AI to formally verify. We have a tool called as QuidGen. It is created by Sheikh. He's one of the Super Team Black founders and a Super Team OG. It was an AI tool that was created by him, where we formally verify with Kani. So our circuits are formally verified. Our protocol is formally verified, and given an audit through the AI. Fable is doing a good job to actually help us roll out the security. But yeah, we won't limit to that. As I said, as the race is over, we would definitely are in touch with multiple security agencies so that they can audit the code and give a 100% success.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to talk about this raise right now and or in a second here. But even before we get to that, you guys seem to be very connected. And I think that's a bit of your edge. You're all engineers. You mentioned Super Team Black. You mentioned you guys were, tried to do, working on the hackathon for Coliseum. I want to talk a little bit about your connections. What's your relationship with Super Team or Coliseum, or like how have you guys worked in the last couple years or your careers in building these relationships, and how's that going to help you guys with Order Trade?
Yeah, definitely. So we are Super Team India members, all four of us. Super Team India is like one of the sub-fractions of Super Team. As you know, Super Team is like one of the best ecosystem supporters of early founders. So definitely we have been given the support during Colosseum. Even before that also, each small win that we individually had was celebrated. If we got reposted by Toli, if we got reposted by Solana, our works, it was always celebrated in community calls. It was motivated. They did motivate us thoroughly through this journey. Even when we started to build for Colosseum, they were really supportive. They were so supportive that we were fully sponsored to go to network school. You might have heard about it in Malaysia. Super Team selected us for the program where we attended 1 month of Solana Summit. So the community support from Super Team is actually something to be talked about. They celebrated all our wins, and without them this would not have been possible. So the community structure that exists now is actually bringing up a lot of founders from unrecognized paths, because if the community is not there, we would have not reached here. We gained attention due to the community, and we are thankful for the community. That's why we are tight knit, because we are like that. Like most Super Team members inside are tight knit. Yeah, that's how we are tight knit. Yeah.
Love it. Let's talk about this raise. I mean, since you've been sitting on here, we've had over another $1 million committed already. Clearly, I mean, very oversubscribed. You guys are, where can I see it? Somewhere down here, very, very oversubscribed already at this point. With that being said, let's talk about what happens from here. You guys will be getting the funding. You guys will be launching a token. What does this look like going forward? What's that money going towards? We want to understand how you guys plan to use it.
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, we will be getting 150K. So it will serve as a 6 months runway and a 30K protocol audit. We will try to apply for some reductions or grants from security research also, because there is a perspective of that where you can get reductions. Since we are also Super Team members, this is a possibility there. So there will be a security audit in the coming month. First month will be for hardening the existing code, adding features, improving the UI, and then doing a public mainnet. Before public mainnet, we will be engaging in a security audit in second month, so that the protocol can go through its life cycle of finding vulnerabilities, fixing them, and then currently we will be forming a community so that private mainnet can be thoroughly tested from community perspective. Plus parallel talks will go to aggregators, because we need them to come in so that they can provide us with the liquidity. So public mainnet will ensure after that, and definitely we will be the first ones market making, because we are taking a particular amount monthly. We will be getting a particular amount monthly that will include a bit of our salaries, and as well as the major share will go to market making operations, which will include providing liquidity for the marketings, the market makers. We will be majorly doing Sol USDC pair at the initial start, but then we will expand to different pairs. And finally, our aim is to achieve 100 million in volume, so that we have proven our thesis and got kind of a bit of revenue. I wouldn't say it would be exponential revenue, but yeah, it will definitely prove that this is happening. So 100 million spot volume is what we are aiming for. Plus we want to talk to those market makers who are ready to come in for us and support us. So this thesis is going to get proved. We are confident regarding that. We are striving towards that. We are shipping relentlessly day and night. So yeah, this is going to happen, and 100 million spot volume is what we are aiming for.
Got you. With that, we know that traders can be pretty impatient in crypto in general. Now, this has changed a little bit with MetaDAO, with Futarki. We see the holders are a little more patient, especially when you have liquid funds and some of the smarter capital aligned. They can be a little more patient. With that being said, what's the timeline? And I know timelines can get tricky, but what's the timeline on this app/DApp being released? Because again, kind of leaning into this, we can know it can be difficult if you have a couple months here in between raising and actually pushing out the app for traders and community to really continue to support. And we want to see that continued support all the way through. So how do you guys plan to keep that support going? And what's the timeline on speed running this timeline to get this app and DApp out as quick as possible?
Definitely. So the one thing that we have always been doing is shipping in public. We always shared our updates. We always shared our milestones completely. We announced. We have never kept it private. So the trust is developed through continuous shipping. That is what we have seen. We have seen it with Umbra. We have seen it with Avisi. Those guys ship continuously. So we will be appearing in, I guess, in podcast to give our updates. The DApp will be pushed because we are aiming for Solana Mobile, of course, because you just get 150K users directly. That's the revenue point. That's the distribution point, to be frank. So I would say the timeline will stick to what you're seeing on the roadmap. But yeah, we would always be trying to push further. So yeah, it might come out in month 3 or month 4 because we have to pass a Solana Mobile review also. So yeah, the DApp will be our number one priority, but even before that, security audit and getting aggregators will be even more priority. But yeah, for maintaining the trust, public shipping is the only way. We will be providing updates and so that the community can rest assured that the funds are being utilized in a proper way.
Got it. I think this has been a great conversation. This is our time. Incredible raise. Again, just another successful one back to back. As soon as you came on, you guys hit that commitment cap or the minimum commitment, minimum raise, I should say, which is 150K. You are 2,000, not nearly 3,000% oversubscribed here at $4.5 million already committed within like an hour or 2 hours, not even an hour and a half into opening this raise up. So I'm sure you feel pretty validated by that. The team's probably buzzing behind the scenes with excitement. So huge congratulations, and we're excited to follow the journey.
Yeah, definitely. So I came on the call like in half hour as the race went live. So like a lot of buzzing is happening like throughout my mobile, through my different applications. I can't check it as of now because I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, definitely we will be having a good day, and tomorrow we will be back to shipping. That's
Love
how
it.
we do.
Well, we're excited and honored to be the people you got to talk with when this thing went live. And go ahead and take some time to get back to those messages and hone in on the focus because it's time to start shipping.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Diner. Thank you, Chill.
We'll see you. Peace.
Yeah, bye.
Chill.
Nice interview, dude. You love these Futardio type projects. Like you, I know you're gonna eat that one up. Takeaways.
I appreciate. I'm sorry, dude. I just, sometimes I just get going. Takeaways. I'm really excited to see the Futardio platform take off, and I think a lot of people are going to be choosing it for the permissionless style raises moving forward. Especially these ICOs 150K. Right now, what's very, very clear is there's a lot of capital that's ready to slam into these raises. I mean, just like Rip Cars. I mean, this is $5 million committed. There's not many places right now you can do a $150,000 raise pre-product with nothing but a team and a vision and get $150 million or $150,000 raised in like a matter of minutes. So I think MetaDAO has become very appetizing for a lot of founders. I mean, how could it not be, right? Imagine you have an idea. It can be pre-product. You have to have some vision, obviously some vision, some roadmap. I don't want to discredit the order team. That's not what I'm doing here. Credit where credit is due. But this is a very, very interesting opportunity for a lot of people because there's not many places right now in crypto you can go and raise this type of money this quickly and get all the benefits MetaDAO has to come with. And again, like the downside risk is kind of limited. It's like get your money and give it a shot. You either succeed or you don't, but the opportunity is like wide open here. So I just think it's very cool. I'm really happy to see the Futardio raises going well. I think this becomes appetizing for other founders, although that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with order trade and like tying into my takeaways there. I think it's cool. I want to see development. I want to see the app as always. But yeah, I guess your takeaways are probably more important since I was yapping the whole time.
No, you're good. I think the team, they have a good head on their shoulders. Obviously, they have a lot of traction with the amount that they have raised. But I think my biggest takeaway is just how do they use this all this momentum that they have? And I think that's going to be really important going into their token going live and going into the next few weeks and months. But I really do like the platform itself, though. It seems like they have some cool mechanics, taking a page from Meteor's book as well. So I like what they're doing overall.
Yeah. Pretty impressive stuff. We did have a request from Crypto Jones to play the video with the sound on. I got you, bro. I'll do that because they are pretty cool. We do have Corey, of course, from PO in the waiting room, who we've had on before. But recently I just saw a tweet and I just need to confirm. I saw a couple tweets I need to confirm on. They talked about an NVIDIA partnership that was potentially in the works and like hundreds of thousands of dollars going towards building out this data center and GPU purchases. So that's like going to be two things I'm going to be really focused on. But here, I will play the video for you real quick, Crypto Jones, because they are cool videos, and I'll give you that. So here. All right. Pop this puppy up here, chill, if you don't mind.
Yep, got you.
All right, here we are. All right, we'll play it for you.
Yeah.
Is this Star Wars, dude? I didn't. Is this Star Wars or like Star Trek or what is this?
I'm not sure. I mean, fun fact: I haven't watched the full Star Wars movie.
You haven't watched the full Star Wars movies?
Yep. Nope. Yeah. There's one thing you guys have to know about me. There's a ton of like classic movies and shows that I've never watched. Like I watched Lion King for the first time during COVID.
That's when you got caught up on all the the classics is during COVID. You and everybody else. I haven't been like I got some friends that are big movie people. What's the app?
Yeah.
They're all using like there's this one app that they use that's just like they literally leave reviews of movies. Like they watch movies, review it. Some of these guys were like doing film majors in college. Probably not what I would have chosen if I was getting a degree at college. But nonetheless, they love their movies. And I'm not a classic movie guy either, but like my ex-girlfriend, dude, she had watched like no movies whatsoever, which is, I mean, I guess kind of nice because we got to watch them all together. But like, yeah, that's funny. I like movies. I want to watch the new what's a Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie. I've heard it's like pretty damn good.
I've heard mixed reviews. I'm down. I've heard mixed reviews on it. Like some people are like, "Oh my god, I freaking love it," and some people are like, "Man, like." I think the negative reviews I've heard is just kind of like people kind of hating on it a little bit, just being a little too critical. But for the most part, people have loved it. So I need to go see it for sure. For sure.
I've seen some negative reviews, but again, from the people that are giving the negative reviews are just like nerds, bro. It's like people that are like, well, this wasn't historically accurate. They wouldn't have worn that helmet back in, It's like, yeah, they wouldn't have worn that helmet because this helmet's badass and the other one looks retarded, dude.
Yeah. Why you gotta do them like that?
I mean,
Rambo, pretty sure it's Dune. Yeah, that seems.
Oh, was that Dune? Okay. Dune 2 was actually sick. Dune 1 was kind of slow for me. But
dude,
Dune 2 was sick.
They said it was just like setting up the storyline, but Jesus, like what a setup, bro. Like I'm like, dude, like can we get to something?
Well,
I can't understand half the languages and like what people are talking about.
Okay, maybe I'm a bad movie critic, and I need you guys. Okay, yeah, good shout, Rambo. Maybe you, Rambo, clearly have watched Dune. What do you guys think? But like, I'm not a slow show or movie kind of guy. Like, I will not finish it if it's too slow. And people love Dune 1. Like, they thought it was so good. For me, like, there was cool scenes, but it was so slow. And I hate watching one movie entirely to set up a second movie. Like, it's just like.
Yeah, there should be a way to condense it down. You know what I mean? Like, but I gotta say, I haven't watched Dune 2 yet. I need to watch it, but like, I've heard it was nice, so I gotta.
Dune 2 was nicey, bro. There's a saucy scene that was shot completely in black and white to like add to the aesthetic of it. They didn't even shoot it in color, so they couldn't have walked it back. But it was like a sick scene, a pretty sick look, and like a whole nother world. I don't know, but we're rambling on. We got Corey patiently waiting in the waiting room, just listening to us talk about who knows what. So we'll maybe talk movies after this. The OG Dune movie is the best. Is this like? Is there? Okay, is a Dune a remake of like a book or an OG movie?
Yeah.
And then is that
It's
what
based on a book.
Okay.
Yeah. But anywho, yeah, we'll get to the
Well, yeah.
movies. We'll get to the movies.
I did do a 6 Star Wars marathon back when I was younger. One of my buddies like rented out an entire theater. I mean, we all just paid for it, but rented out the entire theater for a night, and we just had like 30 people go and do the entire Star Wars marathon, like front to back.
How long did it take?
We stayed overnight. It was a nighttime thing. I think we got there like 7, 8 p.m. and we left in the morning sometime. I don't know. I definitely slept through like half of it, but
Wait,
it
like
was
we're
good.
talking like 3 a.m. or are we talking like 6 a.m.?
No, through the morning. So do you might know where Sinopolis is in Hamlin, Jill?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a sick theater, but you can rent that out. Like you can rent them out, I guess. I just figured this out when I did it, but I don't remember the exact time, but it was all night. Nonetheless, okay, guys, we're going off.
Yeah, all right. Come on.
But
Let's
Star Wars
reel it in.
marathon-
Reel it in.
Yeah.
All right, lock in. PO, Corey, Dom.
PO Corey. PO. Like a parole officer. Okay, we got PO, we got Corey coming on. We've had PO on the show before. We familiar with them very, very early stages, 150K. Josh loves to say, mention that he had looked into this at 150K. He faded. He's very mad he faded. I think most people are at this point if he faded. But Corey's done really cool things. We had him come on. Last time he came on, he was burning down a cigarette. He was teaching us about, Chinese culture. And he was saying, well, you know what? Because of the crypto mining bans, there's a lot of GPUs here for sale. So we're sourcing GPUs. We got the entire scoop on PO. I think today's going to be less about what is PO, although we're going to get the new people an idea, and more so about what the development looks like. Because since we've interviewed them, I've seen Corey tweet on the timeline some relationship with NVIDIA, some investment with NVIDIA that was like a pretty sizable one, as well as I think I just saw Tony, who has been like the liaison for PO, tweet about 32 B200s for their in-house compute, which I believe is worth like a lot of money. I think I saw somewhere someone throw around a $600,000 figure. With that being said, we're just going to bring up Corey to talk about it himself, who has just departed from the weight room. So
I was just about to say that. I think he might have like lost a connection. There you go. He's back.
But he's
there.
back.
We go.
In classic fashion. He's down here smoking the cigarette. Let's go, dude. What's up,
Corey? Welcome back.
Good morning.
GM. Okay, you're meeting us from your other house today. I remember you said you were back from China. Where are the two? China and where's the second one?
Thailand.
China and Thailand. So you're in Thailand today?
Yeah, I'm in Thailand now. Krabi actually right now.
Nice. How you been?
Chilling. Got to get the beach, bro, because I need to fucking clear my head, man.
You had to do
so
what?
much work. Clear my head. There's so much work, Been busy with finding providers and token stuff. It's fun though.
Dude, we have Crypto Jones here in the comment section. Before we pulled you up, he literally asked the question, what's the over-under on Corey smoking this?
Who's got the poly market, dude? I would hammer, unless it's like above 90%, I'm hammering over every single time.
He literally said, I'd bet the house on it. And boom, you pulled up and here you are.
I think our last time we talked,
bet good.
You did bet good, bro. I think the last time we talked, Corey must have gone through an entire pack of cigarettes like within the 30, 45 minute window we had. I should have brought my liquor, dude. I remember last time we talked, I would say I'd get a bottle of liquor.
Bro, I got some Samsung, man. We could have took some shots.
Oh man, 1:30 p.m. Is that too early, guys? I don't know.
It's morning somewhere.
It's always morning somewhere. Yeah.
Nonetheless, Corey. Let's talk it through, bro. Get an idea of what developments you guys have been doing. We talked last time, and so even just to start our people there, maybe quick introduction on yourself, and then what is PO Systems, and then we'll talk about some of these developments you guys have been cooking up.
Cool. Yeah, so pretty much I'm just founder of P0 Systems. P0 is right now an AI gateway, one of the largest AI gateways on Solana. Over 500 billion tokens processed in under 2 weeks. We are thinking we're so close to becoming 1 trillion under a month, so we're trying to beat that between 5 days right now. We got to get it before the end of the next month.
And
But
again, like we
yeah.
try to quantify this. We tried to quantify this last time, like 1 trillion tokens processed in a month. What does that mean? Where does that put you in terms of like stacking up against competitors or other people? Because there's a lot of people doing inference. We know this. And again, it's very difficult for us to quantify what 1 trillion tokens processed in a month actually like means. Is there any way you could help explain that to the audience?
Yeah, so basically 1 trillion would really put us on like the heavily for VC maps too, because 1 trillion, that's like that's from companies who are making, they're funded with millions of dollars and billions of valuation pretty much. Hermes Agent is like 1 trillion above. Like Claude Code is something over 1 trillion. So if we hit the 1 trillion mark in under a month, that's definitely some eyes for VCs. Because we're raising right now for the rest of the money for the GPUs. And then that would definitely be like a really good number for us.
Got it. You can keep going with the breakdown of PO systems and yourself.
Yeah. So we actually were just talking with Bedrock today, because I wanted to incorporate everything for equity and stuff like that, because we've been talking to some investors or whatever. So basically, we want to, like I said, I'm very pinpoint on it, where if you invest on the market for tokens. So we've been talking about Bedrock with like the equity side and token side today, and forming like a whole corporation and everything. So it was pretty cool. People at Meteorola.
Let's
Bedrock
go.
Foundation.
So I mean, shout out Praveen, who's doing investor relations over at Meteor and working with the Bedrock, working on Bedrock very closely. What was some of the thinking there? You obviously had a few decisions, right? I mean, we see Meteor's Bedrock's been popular, the Ace round's been popular, MetaDAO, we just had a Futardio raise prior to this. What was maybe some of your thinking on choosing Bedrock, and maybe explain to the people what this actually entails?
Yeah, so pretty much Bedrock would put the P0 systems into an actual corporation. So for like, if say we like Cypher, for example, like say a big buyout happens, like we can't like rug and pretty much just like take the money and not give token holders their actual share of the cut of the money pretty much. So Bedrock, like they have they own a 20%, I believe, of the equity for the control, like to make sure it's safe and everything for a founder side. And then they handle all like the legal stuff and everything for incorporating, and which is pretty good, because we need to incorporate and do all that other stuff for the USDC staking, because there's a whole bunch of legal side for that. So people could stake P0 for USDC from revenue, because that was also something we were working on.
Got it. And as for VCs, you guys are doing an ongoing raise to raise for buying out GPUs and hardware. What is like the reasoning behind that? What does that look like?
1.7 is missing so far. 1.7 million.
How much are you looking to raise total?
Roughly 2 million.
So you got $300,000 in raises so far. You won 1.7 follow-on funding.
Almost, actually, it's probably gonna be 1 million by like tomorrow, because I've been talking with some peeps. So yeah.
What does that investment look like from a VC standpoint? Are they investing in equity in the company, or are they investing in like what does that look like?
It'll be an investment in equity for P0. So
Got
P0
you.
equity. And then basically we'll get the funds, and then we'll get the GPUs. Just all the money will just go straight to GPUs, getting that farm up and running.
Okay, so
we can't have another downtime with another provider.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, Cloudflare got mad at us and cut us off.
Wait, why they get?
We found, because we were their biggest fucking customer, and no one's using their stupid ass gateway. So they were subsidizing us a little bit, and then they were just kind of mad. They're like, "Hey, you're doing too many tokens this month, so you're gonna have to pay a little more." And they fucking cut us off like instantly, bro. No like questions asked, just instant cut off. It was a planned attack, 100%. And we couldn't get like any other provider, because like if we use straight through Open Router, it would cut our margins. So we have to have like direct deals with these providers,
So
gateways.
You were one of Cloudflare's biggest customers
For their gateway.
So you were one of their
AI
biggest
gateway.
customers for their gateway, and they cut you off.
Yeah, pretty much, because we're competition technically, because we have a gateway sort of with the PC, so they're kind of like competition for us.
Okay, so they cut you off. You're kind of competition. You're kind of giving them the big middle finger, and it's like, all right, well, we're just going to go raise some funding right now and buy $2 million in GPUs to basically just have this in house. Am I understanding
Mhm.
that correctly? What does this unlock for you guys?
This basically allows us to run all the open source models at basically almost no cost, and this is full revenue for us. Because right now we're just pretty much paying the tokens directly to the providers, like if it's Kimi or Moonshot, or whatever. But directly, if we say K3 just came out open source, so say we had these servers up and running right now, we could have these online, and that's pure revenue.
Well, obviously you've crunched the numbers and like looked at the margins on this. What are some of the margins that are like? What does the marginal jump look like compared to using something like a Cloudflare now having your own hardware?
The only cost that we would pretty much have would be the electricity cost, besides the GPU buying. So, but revenue, we would second we get our own GPUs, we're able to get more users. Because right now, like we're at a stance where we can't kind of like attract more users without fucking up our margins so much. So we have to like have a heavily like a leveled like amount of users in and kind of out right now. But with our own pretty much server farm, we have unlimited compute pretty much.
And you're still sourcing those from China because of the miner ban?
Yeah, they'll all be in China. Electricity is smart for that.
Okay, and you were explaining this to us on the last show, but obviously not everyone here was there. You were mentioning that electricity is subsidized in China because they're largely trying to capitalize off this AI race, and
Hmm.
GPUs are readily available and cheaper because there's a nationwide crypto ban, which just basically flooded the market with supply. Because of these two things, it makes for a pretty optimal place to build a data center. Um,
Hmm.
did I get that right, or can you maybe explain that to the people?
Yeah, and Guangzhou will be where the GPUs are. That's where they'll be. So they have like in that basically section or whatever, they have a very good what is it called? Like electricity port, because you can't like plug these miners anywhere without like blowing the whole circuit, you have to have like big electricity plugs, and you have to have everything in check, all the fucking electric stuff in the warehouse, and everything like that. So out in the Guangzhou, like I'm telling you, it's so much better.
Got you.
And with this, basically, we're gonna be able to also like rent compute now too, because we'll have 32 H200s and B200s. So those are very powerful GPUs.
And how much does that costs? $2 million to get 32 of those.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, not too cheap. Okay, so you
Not
can
cheap
rent
at
out
all.
you can rent out compute now, so this opens up another business vector for you guys. What are you thinking about? Like, how are you guys thinking about that? What are you gonna do? What's the go to market there?
Sorry, what you say?
This kind of opens up another like revenue vector for you guys in terms of renting
Hmm.
compute. So what's your kind of go to market thinking on this here now that you have this to focus on? Is it gonna be a bit more of a side thing, or are you guys gonna put a lot more resources and effort towards this as well?
We're gonna basically just rent compute out to Chinese labs who have like new models. So pretty much like K3, Moonshot, we'll take their models from their weights and then just put it on our own servers. And then we'll be able to also rent out our compute on OpenRouter itself as a provider. So instead of just like directly basically, using OpenRouter too, people could go on OpenRouter and use P0 Gateway as a direct provider.
Do you guys have any projections on that, like what that could do for revenue or anything we can chew
That's
on?
easily over 1 million a month. Like that would jump our revenue 2 to 3x probably.
1 million a month of revenue is pretty insane. You already
Pure
have these
revenue, yeah.
relationships, or are you going to need to go and formalize some of these?
I have most of them already. Been talking. I have a stacked LinkedIn.
Dude, an extra $1 million a month. I mean, that puts you guys would be doing, what's your annualized revenue at that rate? I mean, again, these are all projections. So like take everything with a grain
Hmm.
of salt here, but
Yeah.
like,
So yeah, but like maybe 10 to 12 a year. That's just from literally one model though, from K3 from our projections right now. So if we put more models, like say poolside is a very light coding model, and it's a very strong model too. That one's will be like more revenue too, because these like servers are very powerful, like I said. So like poolside runs on a DGX Spark, which is the consumer grade GPU, very small. So our enterprise ones are which is master out tokens and billions of tokens.
This is kind of crazy because it feels like the first time we talked, it was like largely we had software conversations, and now it feels like this company has turned into almost a. I mean, it's definitely dual pronged here, but like a hardware company. Even like you're telling me all about this hardware stuff and capabilities. Would you say like the direction of this company is shifting even more so towards a hardware focus, or is it definitely equal on both sides?
Yeah, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket for sure. So like with the compute too, that gives us two revenue streams besides like just the subscriptions and the gateway. So say we have, less revenue from the gateway or the subscriptions, we could just rent out the compute.
Okay.
Because there's always people who want to buy compute and rent it out.
And you think that trend will continue to grow?
Yeah, 100%.
What makes you say that?
100%. Because everyone right now is just buying up GPUs, just buying up GPUs. And there's no like demand. I mean, there's demand for it, but there's not enough like space for like for for example, ZAI for GLM, like they can't handle our directly, like that provider directly itself can't handle our demand because they don't have enough GPUs for just us pretty much. Like we'll have like a low throttle. So with basically we have our own infrastructure. There's no rate limits, there's no downtime, just a bigger boost.
This is pretty insane stuff. And I think it all kind of ties back to you guys are talking with Meteor right now to incorporate their Bedrock Foundation, which would give holders, I don't know legally what you can say, but pretty much equity in the company, upside in the company. Do you have anything you can elaborate on with that in terms of how much percentage you're thinking of? I mean, I know the range is between like what, 10 to 30% that you can put
20% is 20% Bedrock gets, and then the rest is in basically P0. So P0 company will have it.
That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty good. We've seen people do like 10%, 5% on some platforms. For example, Avi and Khaled did 5% on Street. This would be 20%, which is, I think, I mean, that's a pretty meaningful piece of your company to give towards token holders. What was like the thinking process behind that?
It'll be either 10 to 20. It's not fully decided yet, but the Bedrock needs to have a certain percentage. So for the security, basically. So for founders, because they're like the ones who basically, so you can't like rug the token or, basically someone that comes in and buys out, you can't just, take the money and go. The token holders, actually get the equity and the money from that. Like Cypher, for example, like when they got bought out, they got rugged with the token. I was holding that, man. I remember.
Oh, dude, yeah, I saw you crashing out on the timeline about that. What's going on with site? Like, what's the TLDR there? Briefly, just to
no. I mean, the founder is pretty chill. I know like sometimes it's hard to get like capital and like that, but for sure, I think it was not the best move to fuck your holders over so much. For that, because like the token, even though it was like a rewards token for the card, they still should have had it where like they kept the token, and you could have like the CLED model, pretty much people would just buy it on the market, your VC who just use your actual token as equity, but instead they did the two-sided one.
Got
and
you.
The token holders got messed up on
that. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, that's like one of so many stories you could put out that just have the exact same playbook, and it's pretty brutal to see, to be honest. With that being said, you're raising all this funding. Do you have like a valuation you can disclose on what some of this funding came in at?
Don't have a public valuation, but we have like a pitch deck and everything. I'm gonna release like this week, and we'll show.
Okay, so we'll get more clarity on that shortly.
And you'll get the full valuation, yeah.
And with Meteor's Bedrock, they do a lot of investor relations. Are we going to see more publications of revenue projections, all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Like all the numbers and everything right now still are all public. But it'll be more open and everything for sure. Like any numbers that are like bank statements and things like that.
Got you. And we're just firing away here, so I appreciate you just going rapid fire with me. Arthur Labs has a question here in the comments. Any plan for contracting out compute space for LMM training? I remember, I think you even mentioned when we first talked, potentially you guys train your own model at some point.
Because if we have the compute, training a model, it's like forking a GitHub, honestly, at this point. Because all the open weights from the Chinese models, the second they're out, they just like sent out everywhere. So you pretty much get one, train your own, and launch it on there. But right now we'll focus on rinsing out the compute and staking with our customers, and then later on we could talk about the LLM training for our own model.
What would be the benefits of creating your own model? I mean, obviously, like the goal would be for people to use it, but are these LLMs actually profitable right now? I know a lot of people are taking like pretty significant losses, just subsidized
Hmm.
with their basically their models are subsidized and not making any money, but they have models that are like highly used. Is it a profitable business right now to create a model?
If we create like something similar to like a lightweight poolside model, that's a really good model that you could run pretty much locally on your computer too, and it's a strong model, that would really be a good use case, because people like love like a really cheap model that's fast, and also it's centered, like it's heavily trained on coding. Like the poolside model is very good because it's heavily trained, like focused on training on certain coding parameters and everything. Um, and basically, if we do the same thing, we could copy the same thing for P0. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Dude, is the US losing to China in this AI race right now?
100%, 100%. I'm praying that Grok, the new Grok model, is gonna get a K3 moment, man. But we're a day one partner, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh, dude, you just remind me. Okay, so what's going on there? What's going on with the relationship with SpaceX, Grok, day one partnership? Can you just walk me through top to bottom on what's going on there?
Yeah, so the second like Grok, I think it's 4.7 or 4.6 comes out, we'll be a day one partner. So we'll have a day one, and all our users will have it the second it comes out and launches. And we'll have full compute with them too, so there'll be no like downtime and everything.
And Grok is one of you already offer Grok as a model right now, correct?
It's not the most used one, 4.5. It's not really the best for coding, so I'm praying that the new one is gonna give a K3 moment, man. They really need to, because like Grok is really good in like Twitter, but like for coding and like CLI, it just gets really dumb.
What would a
So I'm really
K3 moment
hoping,
look like?
basically, like if it's actually smart. So if it actually could like code, and it'll be came like Claude Opus level pretty much, because Grok is like strong and good for research, but for coding and everything, it's really iffy right now. Really iffy. It doesn't follow too much rules and everything like that. Because I feel like it's trained, like they train so much of it because they have a really big server center. So they train like a heavily like parameter model, so it's not centered around coding. But hopefully the new model is like focused towards coding, like Grok Code Flash when they made that one, but that was an iffy model.
Yeah, so explain that to me. Obviously, certain models are better at certain things. Grok, of course, being XAI, SpaceX, Twitter's model here, is really good at, like you said, doing general stuff on Twitter, natural language model, whatever you want to call it. But with that being said, it's not good at trading. Is this because it's trained largely off of just like all of the data and information they have from Twitter and the social platform, or like why is it so
No,
bad at
it's
trading?
just, I feel like they just slam everything they think they could put into it, and then synthetic data, and they just rum it into it, like keep throwing it into it, and like they think the bigger model is like the best. Even though big models are really good, but sometimes like depending on what you're using it for, it's not the best. So for a coding model, you need to have like heavily training on coding parameters, very much, and different parameters around like the coding languages you're using, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as deep into it as you are, but it seems like Grok is never really in the conversation when you think about some of the big models people talk about. But they have all the resourcing, they have all like they
Hmm.
have everything they need to, I think, do it. Why are they
Yeah.
not in that conversation yet?
I mean, I think just Elon is just doing like big stuff. So they're doing like a lot, but they're not focusing on one thing. So I'm hoping like the 4.7 is gonna be focused heavily more on coding. What I'm hearing from my guy at SpaceX is it's a good model, and it's a much better model at coding. So we're supposed to get early access too. So I'm gonna test it out before, but praying
Got
K3
you.
moment.
And is this I saw
K3.
that'd be electric. I saw you tweeted something about out about like an investment from, I'm not sure if it was SpaceX or XAI or what it was, or your relationship there. Have they invested in the company? Like what are the extents of this relationship?
hmm we have a $1 million commitment with them. So directly, we have any like one team, have them on Slack anytime we need them. They're online. Basically, so this like commitment may have us like day one partner. So say K3 whatever, right? They have no compute. Now that won't happen for us for Grok, because we'll be like the day one first one out there, and will also be subsidized for our users too. So it'll be much cheaper than getting it on other platforms and using it on, P0. P0 will be the best and cheapest platform to use the new Grok model.
And they've subsidized that for you guys.
Yeah, we have a discount basically.
That's pretty insane. How did you guys build that relationship?
It's all about honestly just talking with people, and then you have to negotiate pretty much, because when we have the user base and the demand for it, so they're gonna need a big jump of tokens and user base and people using their model when it first comes out. So we have all these users who are hungry and ready to use it the second it launches, and that's a win-win for them and for us too.
Got it. Darth Infral's got a amazing relationship to have. I think that's pretty compelling right there. Darth Infral has a question here. Guys, do you have any enterprise customers or mostly retail? Remember we talked about this last time, that, it was mostly retail, but I think you foresaw the trend that enterprise starts to use this as these open source, uncensored, decentralized models, whatever, kind of become more prominent. You said enterprise would lean into it. Of course, I think one of the blockers there is enterprises need to make sure their data is private, right? They can't use a lot of these models. Maybe talk me through some of your relationships there, how you're thinking about enterprise customers using P0.
Yeah, for enterprise customers, they're definitely gonna run up more tokens. They have more staff, and they run a lot because they're coding nonstop. And for enterprise, basically, it'll be more profitable for us too because it'll be seats. So basically, not everyone's gonna be using those seats. But they would hire them. So say they have 500 staff, 500 staff will be able to use them, and they'll buy up 500 seats pretty much. But we were working on enterprise, getting more our enterprise plan ready. We're just fixing up all the margins and numbers because we can't physically take on those users right now until we pretty much ramp up more of our compute.
That's the constraint. The biggest constraint is just compute right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that will be
good.
solved.
But we have our friends at Novica though. Novica AI, really good. They have GPUs and everything, and they rent them out. But they've been really good with us so far, helping us.
But this will be completely solved once you get those GPUs purchased.
Yeah, we'll be fully self-sustained pretty much.
So that's really going to be a big tipping point for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff we've talked about, and I guess I'm trying to hone in on how do we invest in the next unicorn? And you've said some really cool stuff. What's the biggest thing from this conversation we've had so far that we should be focused on, or maybe you still haven't mentioned it yet?
Mm-hmm. For the enterprise?
No, just in general. I mean, everyone's looking to buy the next unicorn. Bedrock, you guys are working on maybe 10 to 20% of company equity going towards Bedrock. So now we actually have upside on the company if you believe in the Bedrock model as a trader. And with that being said, everyone wants the next unicorn. How do you guys become that? What's something we should focus on from this conversation? Is it the relationship you guys have with XAI? Is it the data center you guys are building on? Is it the fundraising? What is this?
It's honestly the biggest next step for us is the compute, because once we have those, once you own those servers, pretty much you could just do so much with them pretty much, because they could. It's not one server could run just one model pretty much. These could run multiple, a long time, nonstop, continuous, and it also. There's a bunch of small AI labs too in China too that they don't have compute, but they always want to rent compute too. So if we have our own compute and also our AI gateway, and we're also on a provider on OpenRouter, then that's multiple revenue streams. Also revenue from the AI labs that are paying us, and revenue from the PC Go subscribers, and then revenue from pretty much people who are just paying on the gateway.
Got you. Yeah, and we look at the token, and it seems like there's a bit of a disconnect even from the token trading and what the valuation probably should be at, with all things considered today. With that being said, and we don't need to get too caught up on token, but I think the issue becomes there's so many people iterating and building around inference. There's so many people building just in this vertical. It gets kind of convoluted. And so it's very difficult as investors to be okay, this one's going to be the next unicorn, because you have there's first mover advantages, which are, obviously the easiest one to invest in. But by the time you kind of get going, we're a couple months into this now and everyone's talking about compute and stuff. It's how do you select the winners and pick them? And so everything you said, it sounds like music to my ears. But it's if you had to maybe answer that question on what makes you more investable than maybe competitors, or if you could compare it to competitors a little bit, because someone asked who your closest rival is, I'd be really curious to get a better understanding of who's actually competing in this space. how do you guys become the unicorn or the company that wins out?
Well, I mean, I would say our competitors are like Vercel Gateway and then also Cloudflare Gateway now. And any other gateway company pretty much that's like not like on OpenRouter. But the second that we become like our own provider, like they're not competitors because they're gonna want to run compute from us too. So we're not only like selling to our competitors, we're also pretty much what do I say? Like we're pretty much we're in the like the owner seat, you know? Like we have the full control. So no one can pretty much say, oh, like cut them off, stop them here. We have like multiple different ways we could just revenue, pretty much. Because once you like, I'm telling you, once you have these compute like servers, they don't sit. They just keep running on and on and on and on.
So maybe in your perspective, what's your moat? I mean, if there was a big company that came in and got funded up with a couple $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, like I mean, we know there's lots of money in the space, and they build out their own data center. Like, what's kind of protecting you guys from someone else coming along and doing something similar?
Well, the good thing about me is I got like the CCP connection. So I got that pure Chinese subsidized for the electricity and everything, and no one else is gonna get. Like I'm the only American pretty much who's been like buying these GPUs like in China. Like couldn't be able American owned farm in China, which is still gonna be getting helped by the Chinese government. So that's like definitely a big thing that American companies can't do because it's like a legal issue, and then also a whole like a national threat, whatever they want to say. So the difference between us and P0 is we have full control. We don't have to follow those like laws and everything.
How is this possible? Because we do know like the CCP, and you're probably gonna have to watch what you say here, even with this question, right? Knowing that they got they got eyes everywhere. With that being said, maybe they do think Americans are a security threat, and they don't want to. Of course, like we are competing with China in a lot of different ways. But you have access to these GPUs, you have access to the electricity. Like, are you nervous if one day they just say, all right, you're cut off. You don't have subsidized electricity. You have to sell the GPUs back. Like we aren't, because you're a threat.
Not at all.
Capacity.
Not at all. Not at all. Chinese very money oriented. So they see the money in it and they like to, they will keep it going. And plus we're selling to like also not just like Asians, just like it'll be Americans too. So that'll be like a big, because Tencent, for example, they, sell to America for the HY3 model. So China is definitely selling heavily models to America too, because they want to like run down the Claude market and ChatGPT market, like all those pricing for all those high like LLMs. They just want to run them down pretty much. Like, and they're gonna keep hammering down cheaper models until the American companies start changing.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Crypto Jones asks a question. Let's talk about like the value of these GPUs. You're spending $2 million, you're raising around for these GPUs. How quickly do these depreciate? What's the lifespan timeline on some of these GPUs? And I guess like if GPUs just get astronomically better in the next couple of years, how quickly do yours get dated and all that stuff?
Well, the H200s and the B200s, those are like kind of the top of the line best GPUs right now in the market, and the new ones. And those last years and years with good maintenance for sure. Making sure good maintenance, cooling. And like the thing is with the GPUs too, like say we're done with them, you could just always sell them again, because in this market, pretty much like those GPUs, like I said before, like old GPUs are like, they're costing more than what they came out in the retail earlier before, because they're so old, but people still need them and they still have a use case for them. So like it's unlike other stuff, but GPUs are like a very long lifespan and they have like a good resale value too.
Got you. And Chill, feel free to jump in with anything if you have something come to mind. With that being said, maybe we just transition into roadmap, because I think we've covered a lot here. If we haven't, I want to talk about roadmap, what you guys are focused on right now. Number one, top of mind for you guys.
Right now, top of the line is getting these GPUs up pretty much like ASAP. We need to make sure we're on our own provider, because right now we're just renting. So we're renting from Novica, and they're pretty good. They give us like a good deal and everything, but still it's still a little costly.
Sure. Okay. So the number one is getting this mini data center up and running pretty much. What's the timeline on that?
Trying to get them up this week, literally, or next week. Like these are days. I've been nonstop, not sleeping, just talking and on phones getting business meetings, raising, trying to get money here and there. And then once I have everything, I'll go back to Guangzhou and get these GPUs and set them up. I'll
Let's
be
go,
out there
baby.
for a little bit.
Let's go, dude. I've ever seen a hard hat just like installing GPUs. How quickly do you expect to get this $2 million filled for the remainder of it?
Honestly, very quickly, very quickly. Our user base is growing extremely fast. I've been talking to some friends and everything. I have, and then they want to invest too because American companies want to invest in China. So this is an opportunity to invest in China, like as an American company still, but you're still getting the Chinese market share too.
Got you. All right. With that being said, I think we covered pretty much everything. Though, Corey, I don't know. I feel like I look at your timeline and there's something new, like every day you're talking about. So if I miss something, just please drop it and be like, yeah, you missed this.
But we got some new models coming out from some smaller labs. They're making some new stuff. So I think that's some new models coming out this week for some free models. Our main goal, though, is really trying to get that 1 trillion before the end of the month because that will look really good on our numbers.
What's the sprint look like to get there? How'd you guys do it?
Right, we need like 400 more billion.
Are you on pace to make it happen?
We're honestly, yeah, we could do it because these new providers we have, they've been doing some good rate limits. If we do like another 200 to 300 billion days, we'll definitely make it.
All right. What about some of that growth? You've talked about how your growth has been really good. Customer acquisition has been on point. How does growth look like? Team expansion. I think we talked briefly about this last time as well, but maybe give me some numbers or an idea there.
Mm-hmm. Right now, still 316 or 320K so far active users, and then paying.
That's
we
monthly?
went up from 30. Yeah. We went up from 30K to like 43K now, I think, for paying PC Go users.
30, you had 30,000 last time we talked, and you're at 40,000 paying users now?
Yeah, 43.
That's really impressive month over month growth. I don't know exactly when we had you on last time, but it probably wasn't too much longer than
And this
a month
is
ago.
all under like 2 weeks, pretty much.
Okay, that's really incredible. And I mean, I guess with this, like you just said, the next goal is another fundraising round. If you hit that $1 trillion mark, now that puts you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe help me understand this. Paying user base is now up to $42,000 a month. You have 320,000 active users monthly, and you are looking to hit 1 trillion tokens by end of month. And if you can do that, you're potentially thinking about going and raising another round. And this is on par and competing with some of these, very, very high level, high capitalized companies.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of valuation would you expect that to put you at? And I know you got some more reports coming out on this, but like help me get a better understanding of what this actually means and materializes like.
Well, for right now, let me check. Like Hermes, what is Hermes valuation at? Right now, if we get to 1 trillion, we'll literally be top like 5 in the world, right next to Hermes under it. And this would heavily look into like VCs because we're like on the fastest growing AI companies and AI gateways like ever, not just on Solana, but just pretty much ever at this point because this is under 2 weeks, not even a month before like getting that 1 trillion token, which we call guideline, like endpoint. And that showing that 1 trillion mark monthly shows so much better month like numbers because we go to VC and say, hey, we're doing 1 trillion every monthly, and we have this amount of users paying. This is how much we're growing like every day, weekly. We have the numbers every day. You see the numbers how we have 100 billion days, 50 billion days, 20 billion days. We don't stop. We keep going. We only had like downtime on Open Router was when we got cut off, but now we're back on to like the top 10, top 15 in the world.
That's pretty impressive. And Faz wanted to make sure we clarify it's 42,000. It's not 42,000 a month. It's 42,000 paying customers a month at a $5 a month price point.
Yeah, paying customers, and that's the $5 first time, and then $10 monthly.
That's impressive. These numbers are just so impressive. Like I'm trying to sit here and process some of this stuff, and then spit questions back at you, but it's really good. So what's top line monthly revenue looking right now and month over month growth? Are you have anything you can report on that? You're muted.
I think you're unmuted.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. What you say?
What's like top line revenue looking like? I mean, we can do the math here just based on what was sent there, but what's top line revenue looking like? Maybe, you know, let us know on some of the expenses. I guess we're looking at margins here and trying to understand how profitable this company is because
Right now, 480K MMR monthly, and 48,083 active Go members. And then we have just doing roughly 2 to 3 billion an hour in tokens. And then from the gateway, okay.
This is crazy.
Can you repeat that last part one more time? It just cut out. From the gateway, what?
34K just from the gateway itself. So that's just from people buying like booster packs. So pretty much like top ups, extra credits, buying it from the gateway, connected it to the quad code harness without buying it like from monthly subscription. That's just from 34K.
What are you growing monthly wise right now?
What do you mean?
What's your growth monthly right now? If you're at nearly 500K monthly, you know, MRR, if you had to think back monthly, what were you doing in terms of user growth? Like this is pretty insane.
That's the thing, bro. Even 1 month old yet with this new gateway feature. Almost like one more week, and then that's when our finalized month revenue is.
This is nuts. So you're basically at 500K MRR at this point. The data center, you're expecting to do another $1 million monthly on top of that once that's up and running.
Yeah, pretty much. Because that's pure. That's gonna be not only from like PZ Go people. That's just from the gateway itself.
Okay. I mean, yes, that'll put you guys closely to 12 million or $20 million annualized. If we take the current monthly, monthly revenue, pair that with the $1 million we're expecting monthly, potentially from the hardware side that you guys are getting. I mean, yeah, that's putting you at nearly 20 million annualized. That's insane.
And we're
All right.
very, very, very young company.
Yeah, young company.
That's like get to this 1 trillion mark, because that 1 trillion a month just sounds so much better. 560, you know.
This is insane. Okay, Corey, I think we've covered everything. Definitely get in my DMs. I know Solana wanted to connect with you. So I would love to help you with that. But all right, dude, I know you're busy.
Sure.
Appreciate you giving us your time.
No, thank you. Oh,
Appreciate it, Corey.
thank you. Catch you.
GG. I don't think anybody was like completely aware of these numbers.
Let's do the math.
So run through the numbers one more time. Like let's
look.
just
That's what I was trying to get to. Okay, this is what it comes down to. Let's pull up the token because now we're gonna crunch the numbers and we're gonna see. Of course, nothing's finalized with Bedrock yet, but if they get this finalized, then we can actually put a real valuation on this company. So let's do the numbers here. Okay. P0 chart right here. My theory was it was held back largely because it was on the Bags app. Got attention. It was trading sideways forever. Absolutely blew up. It's now trading at $2.4 million market cap. Okay. Numbers time. They said 10 to 20% of equity in the company is going to be going towards Bedrock. I think these shares can be diluted. So if the company gets diluted, these can maybe, decrease a little bit. If it's non-dilutive, even better. But let's just assume at the current rate, you got 10%. We'll be conservative. 10% goes to the company. Okay. So that would put this at a $24 million valuation, right? So $2.4 million on chain, 10% of that company equity is represented in tokens. That would put the company at a $24 million valuation. He just mentioned they're doing nearly 500K monthly. That's $5.2 million a year. $5.2 million a year. So they're doing 5.2 million annualized. It's a young company, so they don't even have like growth metrics to really put on this month over month growth metrics. So $24 million valuation based on 10% of equity going on chain. They're doing 5.2 million ARR currently, or close to it if you're assuming they're doing, if the 480K MRR number he mentioned is accurate. Plus, they're expecting another $1 million once this funding round goes through. So they're also currently raising from VCs. Plus, they're expecting another $1 million of monthly revenue once this funding round is completed and they have the hardware side up, which will account for another $12 million a year. He said 10 to 12 or 10 to 12. So again, you add this 5.2, about $6 million a year, plus the 10 to $12 million are expecting to do, you're getting 15 to $20 million annualized. And I'd have to see what percentage of that is margins. I think their spend is relatively low if you factor in some of the stuff, but those numbers are really good. If you start factoring growth here, it kind of gets buku really silly. And then if you even add that, instead, if it's 10%, if not 10%, it's 20% they use to go to Bedrock. This goes from a $24 million valuation to a $12 million valuation. And now their price to earnings ratio is at a really, really nice premium. Like, it's super tight, super compressed. Boys, how are we feeling? Takeaways, chill. That's pretty insane. I think everything we talked about. Again, you have to take everything at face value here until we get some of these investor relations documents out from Meteora, which will be really interesting. But at face value, let's assume he's telling the truth for the sake of this conversation. What are your takeaways here?
I mean, Adam said it best. The math is mathing, bro. Like, I mean, what else can you say? Literally, the market is just asleep at the wheel. Just another example of an absolute gem just flying under the radar when you look at these numbers and the growth.
Yeah. Market cap trading at 0.5x annually is insane. Yeah, but it's trading at trading 0.5x annually if you take the token at 100% value of company equity, yes. But he just mentioned it'll be 10 to 20%, so you have to factor that in. Insane, bro. Insane stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have no words. It just seems like a pretty obvious. It's like one of these things, just don't overthink it.
Yeah, it's an obvious bet. You don't
have to overthink it.
Especially with the when everything gets worked out with Bedrock.
That's when it becomes interesting.
Yeah. But we're getting it before, like we know that is coming, and we're getting all the numbers, we're getting all the juice, we're getting all the sauce before any of this is like actually confirmed. That's the benefit of watching something like MCG, where founders can kind of give you real time information before things are announced and things actually like get super confirmed. We can actually see what they're working on, and this is going to be pretty huge for them.
Yeah. Foz, why would he lie with the documentation about to come out? We did not accuse him of lying, but I think, Foz, I'm not sure how long you've been in crypto. I think it's safe to say you should assume everyone's lying in crypto until you see proof, right? Otherwise, you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, but not saying he's lying or anything like that. Just, again, we're speaking with him and we're just taking what he's saying at face value, right? Like we obviously have like no evidence, no paperwork, no we can't look into any documents to confirm, so we just have to kind of say that as a disclaimer so that everyone knows.
Everything he has said today has been true. Yeah,
we have no
reason not to believe him.
No reason not to believe him.
Y'all see the news with we'll get
all right. You want to run this real quick? You want me to run this real quick? I can
Yeah, let's definitely give Chill the floor here for a little bit, because I've been hogging. Just wanted to make sure I got done with all these questions on P0, because it is going to take a second to digest some of that. And I think it's pretty crazy. Called out new Grok model before the SpaceX AI X account announced it. Yeah, that relationship's insane, by the way. That's
crazy.
SpaceX is an insane relationship. I want to all in and go back to sleep for a few months. Is that a good idea, MCG bros?
Franz
never
been chilling.
Go all in, brother.
Go all in.
Go all in and come back in a couple months. Yeah, I
if I die type of vibe.
Trust the process and buy now, buy after the first BB. No, you do a mixed picture of both, which is probably what you do, right? You use some reasoning here and say, okay, well, so far Corey's been honest to date. Why would he be lying? I'm going to bid some now. right? Get my feet in the water. And then in a couple days, when the numbers, when the reports come out and we have some proof of this, I can also bid then. You can kind of get the average of both. So you don't actually, it's not actually a, you either trust the process now or you trust it later. You can do both. You can do both. OpenRouter is a third party to the AI token usage. Right. Incredible time to be alive. It's so small market cap with this revenue is insane. Yeah, guys, that was an interesting conversation. Again, the first time we had a conversation, it was like pretty mind blowing as well. And it was like, how is this trading so low? And just came back to this thing's trading on Bags, and nobody bids anything on Bags because Bags is like a joke of a platform right now to a lot of people, and they don't trust them, right? So, and that's fair. We've seen the crash and burn, so it's like, you can't even be mad about that. But it is also potentially provided for an opportunity to get a really good price. All right, I'm done with P0, but that's interesting. Like pretty crazy stuff. Like I'll pull up the chart one more time too.
What's that market cap? 2.7?
Yeah, I mean it just was at 2.5, 2.6. It's now jumped. But yeah, 2.7 million market cap. And I mean it's bouncing hard. Like look at the wicks on this. Every time we kind of get down to a lower bound here, it puts a nice bounce in.
Nice.
Fascinating.
Well, that's crazy. Well, more alpha for you guys on MCG, as you know. It's just a normal Monday for us, digging up all this alpha for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did enjoy it, there's over 700 of us in here right now. Not sure if all of you guys are MCG regulars, but if you're not, we do this every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. You should be a regular. We do this all day, every day, people. So appreciate you guys tuning in.
People just hate value.
Yeah. You know what? You hate money, don't watch MCG. Literally, you hate value, you hate all things that are latest and greatest in crypto. Like literally, just don't watch our show.
Just block us. Just block us. Joel, I'll let you riff for a little bit. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hit it. All right. All right, guys. So let's do this. Let's transition here into a little bit of Robinhood. And I'm gonna actually tell you guys exactly what I'm gonna show you guys exactly what's been going on here. So obviously you see the hard bounce. Top fumbler, you're absolutely right. You hate money, fade the artificial dog. You know what I mean? Fade the Inu. So we see the bounce here on AI. If you saw my post, I did a post there on Friday, just kind of looking at the chart. I mean, AI was just such an undervalued opportunity. But why is it bouncing? Let me show you guys the news that recently dropped, actually right while we were on stream. Let me show you guys this. All right, here it is. Long.xyz actually came out with some interesting news. They actually partnered with Rialto, and this helps them to unlock more liquidity for some of their top pairs. So here's the announcement. We're excited to announce that Long has partnered with Rialto to bring unprecedented liquidity to our top pairs while unlocking more stock token options. Since launching Long with our unique stock token pairing model, one of our biggest challenges has been scaling activity with deeper liquidity across our top pairs while expanding the range of supported stocks. Rialto operates as a unique prop AMM model with custom market contracts optimized for larger stock tokens, for larger stock token trades with lower slippage. They were one of the first teams to enable stock token trading at scale on the Robinhood chain. Rialto now supports every pair on Long and is directly integrated into our in-app trading system. Together, we will keep pushing the RWA frontier on Robinhood. So why is AI pumping? For that reason. The problem with stock with token to stock pairs is the liquidity. And you can even we can go on Dex Screener right now, and you can even see like the liquidity on some of the GME pairs. And you can see, I think I saw there was one that was like, it's like 100K in liquidity for like a 3 million market cap. I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on? But liquidity in these token stock pairs has been a huge problem to date. And now we're seeing that long is sort of fixing that problem. Why is that so important? Well, the other issue is when we saw that AI first, went crazy, right? Like our Discord was in at a, we were talking about long.xyz 2 weeks ago and we're talking about AI, under 200K market cap, under 300K market cap, I should say. Some of us, we bought the dip when it dipped down to 100K. Others, like myself, bought in, a little bit higher at like 300K. And then we rode the wave. And as it cooled off, we saw people, FUD the long ecosystem. We saw other launch pads come out with token stock pairs. And so the liquidity that was interested in these types of tokens got dispersed over so many different tokens that were launching, GME from Banker being one of them. And but again, all of those tokens still had the same issue, liquidity. It's insane. Well, not insane, but it's very easy to see that the platform that kind of created this stock token pairing hype is the platform that is solving this whole RWA meme problem, right? Long.xyz gave birth to the entire RWA meme category with this AI token. And so it's not surprising to see that they're the ones actually fixing the main problem that this sector faces. So honestly, very good R&R here. Obviously, the upside for something like this, I can see retail traders being very interested in something like this because, again, it's paired to a stock. You're basically owning a leveraged position in any particular stock, NVIDIA, Google, Microsoft, etc. When retail kind of captures the essence of what's being built here, I think it can be a very powerful onboarding opportunity that we now get the ability to position in at these low levels. And when I say upside, when I say think of the long term, imagine how much retail capital is interested in NVIDIA. Overlap that with the retail capital that's interested in leverage, in margin, right? A little bit more risk. They're interested. Imagine the overlap of retail that is also interested in meme stock trading, or perhaps even penny stock trading, right? These people want leveraged exposure, so they're willing to take a risk. They're willing to trade margin. They're willing to trade meme stocks. They're willing to trade, penny stocks. They're willing to take on more risk to juice their returns. And essentially, you're giving that same crowd a new market primitive. In this case, it's in the version of not margin, not penny stocks, not meme stocks, but RWA memes that are directly connected to the very same stocks that they're bullish on. And it just represents leveraged exposure on those stocks. So I think that whole narrative is really powerful. We've gone into the long.xyz thesis quite a bit, but that's the latest on long. This whole partnership, to me, puts long.xyz's ecosystem back at the top where it belongs. I think, people like Banker, they caught some hype. Other launch pads, they're now integrating RWA memes and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, long.xyz will kind of dominate this RWA meme sector. We got a chance to interview the founder last week. He has a good head on his shoulders. He has a way of, kind of using the AI token as a way of onboarding larger retail traders. And so he's kind of taking this grassroots Ansem style approach with kind of onboarding some of these bigger traders to this narrative. And, I really think that long.xyz will hold a meaningful market share. And thus, I think things like AI will do really well on the platform. Looking at the rest of the ecosystem, I actually was looking at long.xyz's platform because I wanted to get a sense of all right, how is the rest of the ecosystem sort of reacting to all of this? And so here is the the platform. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. All right. So here's the platform. We see that obviously AI is, kind of the top, the one of the top tokens on the platform. But right after the 6 million market cap, pretty much everything else is like below 200K. So I say all of that to say, I think AI, if you want to get exposure, just don't bother with other tokens for the time being. Just bid AI and bid AI only, right? Like just
Platform looks real good.
yeah, platform looks solid. The opportunity is there. He has an in-app trading system as well, so I think that obviously, so that obviously has a lot of upside. But that's really the whole deal with the AI pump. And I think this is not just a pump on a random meme coin. I think this is a clear shift in the way that the market is recognizing RWA memes. I think Long.xyz will be a big player in this sector. And I think because they're first, they have that first mover advantage. They've built a lot of relationships. They have, they have a moat with their platform. I think that they'll continue to dominate. So, definitely look out for AI. Keep that one on your watch list. I think there's still so much opportunity, man. Still so much opportunity on Robinhood. So many new things being built. So many new market primitives. So always good to see. Abe the Brave coming at us on YouTube. Appreciate you, bro. What's going on? Top Fumbler, I agree with you here. In my opinion, it will cool back off and take time to play out, but good R&R. Absolutely. I think that this is a multi-month opportunity that, again, I told you guys last week, when we think about Robinhood, don't think in terms of days and weeks. Think in terms of months and years. When people were buying Solana at $8 in 2022, that was a multi-year play that played out, and they sold at 250 if they played that trade right. So my point here is, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be local tops, local bottoms. But in terms of macro bottoms and macro tops for the entire Robinhood ecosystem, we still have way more to go. In fact, much higher to go. In fact, I'd love to show you guys a chart.
Yeah, even on this too, like like the best play is like a general bet on Robinhood just sustaining or like just not going away, right? And so it's like buy the picks and shovels, buy the infrastructure. And it's so easy to do this because you can literally take what's already on other platforms or what's already on Solana, what's already on Base, and what do we need on Robinhood? Okay, do we need an AMM? Do we need a launch pad? And you very simply just make a broader bet on the entire ecosystem of Robinhood doing well by betting on the picks and shovels and betting on the infrastructure. And some of it's not even out yet, but as it comes out, you want to position for it. So keep eyes there.
Absolutely. And here's a chart that really helps to put this into perspective. I'm going to show you guys a chart. If you remember, Robinhood partnered with Arbitrum, and Arbitrum is going to get like 10 or 15 or 20% of their of the ecosystem. 10% of the revenue from Robinhood chain. Now, just go along with the example here. Purely looking at the Robinhood chart, this is the macro bottom, right, for the entire Robinhood ecosystem, exemplified or seen in this chart. This is the bottom here, and yeah, sure, the ecosystem has taken off right from the bottom. It's now cooling off, but how much higher do we have to go? That's really the question. Here's how much higher we have to go. When you really take the time to just freaking zoom out, bro, just freaking zoom all the way out, you recognize how much higher we have to go for this entire ecosystem. It was just born a couple weeks ago. The path to all-time. Now, I'm not saying that Arbitrum is going to go to all-time high. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't really care about Arbitrum. It's going to be beta to the Robinhood eco. But the point here is showing the amount of upside that we have for the entire Robinhood ecosystem, bro. Everything needs to be built.
I mean, general idea was back in 2020, if you just bid L1s or L2s, experimental L1s or L2s, they were all going to cook 1,000%. They were all going to cook 1,000%. Nowadays, L1s and L2s, and because there's so many tokens on the market, not all of them cook as much. It's not necessarily like the for sure guaranteed bet, but you had ghost chains, ghost L2s, ghost L1s with no users, no activity, nothing going into.
Sonic.
I mean, dude, just give me the list. Someone give me a fucking entire scroll of all the L2 and L1s, excuse my language, that just launched with absolutely no traction, no user base. Ghost towns were valued in the billions because, again, it coincided with the crypto bull market, and that's what people were bidding. Agree with you, Chill. Not sure if Arbitrum's valuation is fair to get back up to all-time highs ever. But the idea is, man, if Robinhood would have launched during this period of time, it would have been insane. Just absolutely insane. Uniswap, I think a better bet than Arbitrum is Uniswap. Because as long as the EVM chain in general stays hot, which of course Robinhood is EVM, Uniswap will do well. And Uniswap's starting to print. We've seen the uptick in this is printing money for Uniswap. So I think this actually becomes a more interesting bet. Also, and this is one thing I've realized while doing this show, there's a lot of really great primitive technology that is used by teams that poorly execute on it. So V4 hooks have become very popular. Uniswap V4 hooks.
Can someone explain to me what V4 hooks are? Because I'd really love to fully understand that.
I read a great article today that broke it down. V4 hooks. But basically, nonetheless, I think back to Prism. Prism was using Uniswap V4 hooks. Very cool idea, very cool primitive. I actually took the V4 hook idea and I'm not even talking about who I talked to, but other partners of the show, you probably can figure it out. I talked to them, I'm like, you guys should implement V4 hooks and what they do, because you can literally make it to where each position is a liquidity position and they're market makers of the token they hold. Like each individual holder becomes liquidity position market makers of the token they hold. And like V4 hooks are very, very cool. And that's just like one of the aspects of V4 hooks. And there was a great article here. Actually, Deus from GG.xyz broke down how V4 hooks work. So I can explain it here. But what I've noticed on the show, let me get to my point here. What I've noticed from being on the show is there's a lot of really cool primitive technology that is used by the wrong teams. And if you can pick up on that technology, like we had Prism on, and I think Prism ended up dying, but you could have then realized, okay, Uniswap's doing some really cool things with V4 hooks. Even though EVM is not very hot, Uniswap's actually innovating to some extent. And that's a big thing that jumped out at me when I saw V4 hooks. It wasn't, okay, Prism is a really, really cool technology. Prism's going to do great. It was V4 hooks are kind of the crux of this thing. This entire thing revolves around V4 hooks. And that's the thing about Prism. It had real no moat there. It had the V4 hooks. And so I'm like, V4 hooks done right could be really, really big. And Uniswap's doing some cool stuff. I think people are realizing V4 hooks are really, really innovative. And I also think just with Robinhood's success, Uniswap's going to continue to just dominate in revenue. So this is like one of my favorite bets in terms of like a beta to Robinhood. But here, I'll pull up a little breakdown of V4 hooks for you.
Please,
if you want to share my screen.
Yep, got you.
Okay. Somewhere in this, and
this is the SZR article. Okay, I had this one. I had this one I read through, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so SZR is another one. Again, I was gone over the weekend, so I'm seeing people talk about this, but I have no clue what it is. And of course, shout out Dace for making this breakdown. But in here, he talks about V4 hooks, and why that's important. Okay, this is the gap Cesar is working on. Cesar's move is to put the entire market inside one Uniswap V4 hook. So maybe this, yeah. So this is like, I guess, everything inside of V4 hook. Pricing, reserves, issuance, fees, inventory, redemption, burns, depth. Again, I love that people are taking this V4 hook and innovating around it, because this is like, it's sick tech. One contract, one automatic settlement path, nothing external. The pool doesn't host the market. The pool is the market maker. This thanks to Uniswap V4 hooks. And this is why Uniswap V4 hooks are really cool, because the pool doesn't host the market. The pool is the market maker. Remember when you had Prism on, what was so special about Prism? Each position you held earned a piece of those fees automatically streamlined to your wallet. And that was like the coolest thing about that the coolest thing about Prism was that one piece right there. And that was the V4 hooks. So here's an image it kind of breaks it down. Here's how normal bonding curve works. It curves, then it migrates to the AMM. You have snipers and you have mercenary LPers who exit. And then the off-chain patch is you hire a market maker, right? Which we know does not, like, you hire the wrong market maker, you're screwed. You can do OTC deals to refill the book and pray. Backing leaves the market. What a great write-up and like image generation that he made here. Clearly he did this by hand. And here's how Cesar does it. Okay. 1 V4 hook, 1 automatic market. Pricing bands, issuance, floor reserves, ban inventory, burns, 1% fee split. Outside LP is rejected at the contract level. Volume in, depth stays forever. No market maker to hire, no LPs to leave. The pool is the market maker. Okay, if it's not clear to you, by the way, who I talked to V4 Hooks about, it should be after just reading that. This was months ago. Months ago, after the Prism conversation, I suggested you guys should really look into V4 Hooks. It's pretty cool what is being worked on here and like the market making possibilities. But so like that's what V4 Hooks are. Just think about native liquidity for all token holders. You don't have to provide liquidity. You don't have to be a market maker. It's just built in. So, I think that's my understanding at least. And I have like looked into this and researched it a pretty decent bit. So if I'm not understanding correctly at this point, I might just be an idiot. As for Cesar, I don't know much about that, but that's for those who are trying to understand V4 Hooks, that's how I understand it. But it's really cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I might have to read up on it a little bit more just to bring it real down to a smooth brain level.
Yeah.
I'm
TLDR, you don't need people to provide liquidity. It's like every holder is a liquidity provider, so you don't even have to think about it. You automatically get fees accruing to your wallet autonomously. Hey, Futari just did another raise, pulled in some numbers. Yes, brother, we had them on as they went live. So go check out the first part of this interview with Order. And yeah, they're at $4.5 million raised in like an hour and a half since they had been live. So pretty impressive stuff. I'm assuming that's who you're talking to, unless there's been another one that decided to raise on the exact same day as another raise. That's like dropping an album when Drake's dropping an album. You know what I'm saying? If you know someone else is raising on Futario, which has like very few raises, why would you raise the exact same day? I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's like I think we're both talking about Order here. Bought a big bag of AI and just chill and let it cook. I focus on building AI agents.
I honestly think like that's the wave, bro. Just buy it. Just buy a bag, sit on it, and literally like because the new pairs environment is kind of AIDS. Did you see Banker got hacked?
I heard, yeah. I heard.
Let me show you guys this. Apparently Banker's deployer account, not OX deployer, but the Banker bot account apparently was hacked. And I guess X hasn't really like gotten back to them on how to get that back up and running. Crazy how Vlad and Banker get hacked though. Back like that.
Well, just guys, 2FA, don't hop on. OPSEC is so important, man. OPSEC is always a conversation in the bull market because everyone's got money to be stolen from. People kind of sleep on OPSEC in a bear market. Yeah. But maybe we can get a response from Deployer now. Maybe the hackers will respond to us.
Jesus. Oh, God. I was going to say it.
Circling back here.
Yeah.
You want to hop on MCG?
Yeah. Banker. Deployer. Yeah. Hop on MCG. Air out your frustrations. I'm sure we can get you in contact with somebody from X. Pons is doing well. I don't know if you guys remember our rant last week, Dom, about Jimothy and look at Jimothy now, huh? Look at Jimothy now. You guys are playing the wrong freaking game, man. Brutal. Told you guys. Brutal conditions.
I thought Jimothy and Tung Sahur Coin were generational tokens. Why are they? Because these are great fundamental memes. Like, why are these going down?
Well,
this makes no sense.
I told you guys TTT. TTT. All right, I respect the game. I respect the game to some degree. Jimothy though.
I don't get it, man. Let's see. What's Tung Sahur Coin at?
Let's. I don't understand. I'll say this. I'm pulling up the chart right now. I don't understand the meme itself. But here's what I do know about a good meme. is it endures multiple drawdowns of 80% plus. We saw 70% drawdown there. We saw, let's see, another 60+% drawdown. We saw another 70% drawdown there. We saw 50% drawdown there. We saw, let's see, another 50% drawdown. And then now it's on a 50% pullback. So I'll say from a chart perspective, like Triple Tongue, like they've been here for a pretty long time, towards the end of the most brutal parts of the bear market. And, you know, chart wise, like, I don't know, it's some brain rot meme. I have no idea what the meme is, have no interest in it. But yeah, you know, freaking look at Jimothy. I mean, these memes on, you know, live 24-hour trends, like, is, to me, is just crazy. And literally Orangey said it. He's like, well, you know, all these things are just pumps and dumps. And I'm like, dude, no, they're not. They're not supposed to be that way. If you launch a meme, it's supposed to be a meme that can actually, you know, sustain something long term, not pull this Christmas tree up and down P&D BS. But hey, you know, that's just me. That's just my take.
The issue with memes is if you're trading memes
like
an attention game.
Triple T is the runner on Soul. It's everywhere. My nephews have it as their wallpaper. It's everywhere. I actually saw Triple T on like the normie side on Instagram on some video. And I was like, okay. Huge. I didn't realize that. All I know is that from a meme perspective, it's sustained multiple drawdowns of above 50%, 50 to 80%. And it's come back every single time and has a great community. And it's been here. It has time in the market sort of preference. See, stuff like Jimothy, like that's here today, gone tomorrow. It's up for a couple of days and it's back down again. Like, not good for the space. Literally, MetaDAO is the oasis on Solana. Everything outside of it is questionable. And then Robinhood.
Yeah.
That's it.
Whoever's got more time to think about this than me and that can build a protocol out, if you can find a good way for meme coins to actually trade with the attention that they're accruing, like that would be a great platform. Because the issue is now that you can have a meme with a ton of attention and it's still going to underperform. It's still going to do terrible. It's
already built, bro. It's already built. Remember we talked to the what's their name?
Bubblegum?
Was it Bubblegum?
They memes, have a prediction market with
prediction markets token within the meme. Yeah. That's the because that's the solution here, because you basically have a meme coin that is wrapped around a prediction market, and essentially you have a meme coin that has an expiration date. So if you were Jimothy is a viral meme. If there's like people that want to buy it for the meme, cool. They can buy it for the meme, but there's also people who can, like, maybe, what's the odds that Jimothy ends up getting tweeted about by, freaking Elon or Trump or the White House or whoever? That could be in a prediction market, and you need to buy the token to access the prediction market and vote. And so I think that becomes really compelling, and it's much better than this like P&D kind of stuff that we've been seeing. It's just getting so old at this point, man.
Goes back to the previous conversation we just had about like being able to spot good tech and like differentiate it from the product. And Bubblegum may be a great product. Maybe it becomes incredibly successful, but like, just like the V4 hooks, right? What can you take away? Like Prism did not do well, I think. I don't know, Chill, maybe you've been following. Prism did not do well.
Prism got hacked, unfortunately.
Oof. Okay,
yeah.
So whatever. But you still have takeaways from that, right? What can you take from that? Well, then next person that does V4 hooks, right, could build something really cool. And we're seeing that with Cesar potentially. But same thing for like Bubblegum here. Okay, how do we make memes an attention vector? Well, use the token as an attention vector to drive back volume to a prediction market, which then funnels into a token and is reflected in the price appreciation and price action of a token, which a little complicated, I think, to talk about. But like, what's your takeaway there? Okay, I don't know. memes can be sustainable as an attention vector if done correctly, and like someone's gonna solve for that. But all right, I'll let you get to this. We also got to talk about Pump Fun. We literally called the Pico bottom on that.
Pico, Schmiko, and the Discord as well. That was another call, massive call in the Discord.
We called the Schmiko Pico bottom on Pump Fun. And I'll say LB has been narrative building Pump Fun a lot, but like we also built the exact narrative that Pump Fun's running off of, which is like it was a pure price. I mean, I still got on my board back here. Let's see, Pump 50% buybacks, $165 million annualized. They were trading at a 1-to-3 price to earning ratio, and a 1-to-10 fully diluted value ratio. Could compress with volume, right? So as volumes increase, the price to earnings could compress more. Now they did more weekly revenue than Hyperliquid last week, and it's trading at 1/10 of the price or something like that. Maybe even more, even a little less. So we also called the Pico bottom on Pump Fun, and the narrative that's being pushed for Pump Fun, that's in part pushing this, I think a little bit, is like just purely a revenue narrative, which is the exact narrative we like crafted. So sometimes you have trades that go right for wrong reasons, right? It goes right for a thesis that you didn't have. This is going right for the exact thesis we had, which I think is which is also always fun to do in crypto when you have a great thesis and something plays out because that thesis was spot on. It's also great when you have a great thesis on something and then it plays out exactly as your thesis would have suggested, but it plays out for a completely different reason than what your thesis would have suggested, but you're still in the trade. It's interesting how that happens. But sorry, continue, Chill. Oh, this was interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. No, I just added that. I just wanted to add a little context there. I mean, you're just talking about Pump Fun, and we can see the graduation rates starting to go up to above 3.5%. I mean, if you guys look, historically, graduation rate has been below 1%. We've covered that, quite a bit in like late last year. It was below 1% for a while. It ticked up a little bit back in March, April, went right back down to below 1%. But now it's starting to tick up again. And this was posted just today, literally like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, maybe at most.
Again, Adam is a great follow. Great follow.
And
his Dune analytics are great.
And if you guys want to, he has a full Dune dashboard open. Like literally, just go to dune.com/Adam _
something.
I have the link right here. I'll show you guys. Here's the dashboard. Freaking amazing dashboard, bro.
Nah, he's a wizard.
This is Robinhood specific, which I will add to my favorites. This is more Robinhood specific, but oh man, this is a dream come true for guys like me that want to just look at the entire ecosystem.
It's amazing, bro. Adam's like a case study for someone as a creator. Like, this is what you should be. You should be someone that does something. Nobody does what Adam does on the timeline.
Yeah,
nobody. Like, he actually has a ton of value. He actually is onto the hot narratives, and like he's earned a really significant following because of it. And this is the thing, everyone tries to do what everyone else is doing. Adam's doing something completely unique here. So it's a good case study for if you're looking to build your own personal brand out, be Adam.
Literally. I will say this, just if we can talk about, just hover on this for a second. As far as building out, the importance of building out a personal brand for yourself, I think it can maximize the amount of opportunity that you can have in this space. Someone like me is a great example of that. I came into crypto and I was very, very new to trading. I think I've before crypto, I traded a select few stocks, but obviously didn't stick to it, lasted like 2 weeks in the stock game and never looked back. But, coming into crypto in 2021, I realized that, number one, I should, no matter what, stick with it, no matter how hard it gets. But number two, to kind of maximize my ability to achieve some level of success in the space, I think I should create content. because, you know, what's the odds of me only making it as a first time trader in my first like 2 years in the space, right? So in 2022, I started my Twitter account. It was my personal account before, ended up like just like unfollowing all my IRL friends, like all that stuff, and literally just switched fully to crypto content. Did crypto content in 2022 that was mostly community focused. I focused on one community at a time, built up a good reputation for myself. I started then researching projects, doing breakdowns on different projects that I found interesting in 2023. In the end of summer 2023, went full time into trading because I got laid off of my job despite being like one of the best performers. And I that day went to Twitter, and I think I had maybe like 5,000 or 7,000 followers at the time. And I literally said, "Hey guys, I just got laid off. What do you think I should do? I either quit crypto fully, or I you know, to chase an IRL job, or I like completely lock in." And the amount of support on the timeline, like I would never fade the timeline, bro. People were saying a few months ago, like, "Oh my gosh, the timeline is so negative. All I see is negative stuff." Like, I don't really care, bro. I got what I got from people on the timeline saying, "Hey, chill, you should just lock in and just do crypto completely. This is going to be a step in a great direction for you." And I said, "All right, bet." And I never looked back. 2 months later, 100x call on Unibot, and that got everything else. Everything else started. And so since then, my account obviously has grown up. I have 30,000 followers now, 31, I think.
Insane, bro.
But you know,
Insane.
along the way, man, I mean, you have all these opportunities that come your way. People share alpha with you. People share stuff with you, like, "Hey, you know, I see this project, or this dev is doing this." Like, just random opportunities just come your way. I mean, last week was a prime example of this. In my DMs, one of the homies hit me up. He knows the dev, the OG Ansem dev, the dev that handed off the Ansem token to Ansem. He knows that person, and now we got him on MCG, right? So it's just having a network is extremely important, and building a following is really important for supercharging that network. Having a good public reputation where people know that they can come to you, share things with you, and it just creates a lot of opportunity for yourself outside of just trading the portfolio. And you know, any trader or anybody will tell you this: it's not a matter of the value of your portfolio; it's a matter of the value of your network. Because you can only do so much on your own, but with a community of great people around you and a good reputation of trying to contribute value, that's unmatched. That's unmatched. And honestly, I'm a prime example of that.
Amen, brother. And this is a great transition to plug our Discord. If you guys want a community, it's going to actually be aligned, like-minded people that are trading, doing research, thesis-driven posts, providing edge, cutting the noise. Well, you can find that in the MCG Collective Discord, which you probably can't get in because...
No, you can't. I actually just banned someone this morning. This guy was fudding the AI token because... all right, so just context. First off, it's been an absolutely dream of a community, right? Like, we've been like hunting together, trading together, research, doing like all the great stuff. It's been wonderful, and sending feet pics and all. And you know, right after one of like the best feet pics of all time, you know, this guy comes in and tries to FUD the AI token. And like, I mean, he's been doing this over the last like 3 days, and I've been trying to tell him, like, okay, like because you know, it's not a oh, just because I'm bullish, you need to be bullish too. Darth Infernal, you guys see Darth Infernal in the chat all the time. He just made a comment and asked some questions today of P0. We don't agree, me and Darth Infernal, we don't agree on absolutely everything. Like, sometimes it's like he kind of like, well, what about this? He helps me to see different angles of different projects that maybe I'm not thinking of. Maybe I need to do more research. Maybe my thesis is a little weak in that area. But like, this is not like like a hive mind of just follow whatever Chill, Dom, and Josh says. It's like, no, like come with your own thesis, your own experience. Let's iron sharpen iron this type of situation. Let's make sure that we're all moving in one direction and benefiting from the experience and knowledge that each of us has. But if you come in and you're just like calling one of the greatest tokens of all time, AI, on long.xyz, you're calling it a bundled scam, and you have no evidence, you provide no thesis, I tell you, all right, your opinion is out there, now go. Like you said your piece, now leave, stop, chill. And then you come back and do it again today, I'm gonna just ban you. And in fact, I banned him, and that marked the Pico bottom for the AI token, because now it's up 2x from where he scanned it this morning.
Signal.
So
that's actually
but that was literally like that was the only like bad experience, like bad like thing that I've had in the Discord to date. Like honestly,
there was some spam earlier, people trying to like send, I don't know, before we had like KYC on, or not KYC, you don't have to KYC again, but like verify to get in.
Yeah, verify you're a human. Yeah.
But it's the truth, man. Going back to what you said, like, man, I take nearly no one else's opinions into consideration when I'm building a thesis and conviction, because you can't be borrowing conviction at all in this market if you're looking to make a good long-term trade, especially when the markets are hot. If you want to hold something all the way through fruition, of course there's a balance not to round trip it as well. But building your own conviction is so important, but also having a balance-based take with other people who are gonna tell you how it is and basically just say, dude, look, you're not factoring this in. You got the rose-colored lenses on. Like, you got to start thinking straight is so important. I would much rather, from a terms of like value and edge perspective, have a Discord that's going to disagree with 90% of what I say than a Discord that's going to agree with 90% of what I say. Hopefully they agree more than they don't, right? Obviously, because I'd like to think my theses are at least generally smart. But like, I don't know, people get so scared to give feedback and disagree with you publicly, or sometimes even in like a Discord. And it's like, you earn my respect from doing that. If it's based, right? If it's based, of course. But yeah, that's what's nice about a Discord, where people can actually come back and like touch on those points that you're just overlooking or purposefully looking past and like putting it out there for you. It's really valuable.
Yeah, the having a Discord like that is going to be nice. Having just a place where, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, like I drive all of my network value through the Discord. So like someone hits me up, hey, Chill, like, like, can you come in my group chat or whatever? Like, no, bro, I'm in the MCG Discord. Like, if you're there, you can hit me up. Like, when I wake up in the morning, I check the MCG Discord. Like, I'm in, like, I can show you guys. Let me look at my thing right now. Let me look at my thing. I have 1,000 plus unread messages from groups that I'm in, all this stuff. I don't check none of it. I don't check any of it. Like, I go to the MCG Discord because that's where I direct my network to. That's where I see the most value in every single day. It's been an absolute dream to be in this Discord. Uppity G-Wub. First time I've seen you coming from seen you here from the YouTube side of things. We got a few YouTube friends like Pepe,
dude,
and Ave the Brave.
I was peeping game, man, and like steady viewership on YouTube the entire way through. This has not been it's nice to see we got people on YouTube. And what's nice about YouTube is like we can actually see that they're consistent viewers, like viewership watching through how long they watch through. X is difficult because if you click on it, it shows up as a viewer. And so like I'm honestly not even sure how many viewers we have all the way through all the time. But man, it's really crazy. YouTube's been extremely consistent. Like, you guys are rocking out. Love you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys on the YouTube side of things. But yeah, uppity G-Wub, what's up with the Discord link? It's not working. Who gave you your link? I've been noticing, like, so people have shared the Discord link in the past. They have like been sharing around the link with just like people that aren't them. And it's caused some people to come in. We've had like 2 or 3 scammers try to scam. We have a ton of people trying to impersonate me. Link in the show description.
Oh, on YouTube potentially. I'm not sure. We could
Thank
see like potentially, yeah.
God. Yeah. So here's the
Big
thing. Let
pumps,
me.
yeah.
So I ended up revoking all of our links. I ended up revoking all of our links. Uppity GWub. So we've been pushing our Discord for the last like 2 to 3 months. Or not, it hasn't been 2 months yet, has it, Dom? June 18th. June 18th was that was when I'm just going based on the time when I posted the Robinhood thesis. I posted the Robinhood thesis on June 18th. And since then we have almost 500 members in our Discord. And honestly, we're at that point where it's too many people in here, right? Like I don't want there to be so much like chatter that it drowns out all of the signal in the Discord. So we've paused all invites. And from this point forward, we just need to see you in the comment section. We need to see you liking and retweeting our posts on X. We need to see you in the chat during interviews, asking questions, or in the chat, period. Just, just talking, talking to us and everything. So we've been pushing the Discord for a while, and it was like completely open for anyone to join. But now that it's too many people, we're kind of prioritizing those that are kind of like not just, viewers of the show, but really those who are active and, in the chat and whatnot. So
I mean,
anyone
of course,
that's
too, if you're
active,
just a crack
just let me
trader,
know.
like if you can show us, other alpha groups you're in, great calls you made recently, like of course, that's
Yeah, all great callers are welcome. All great, if you're a trencher and you do like solid work and you have a record of that, solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can get you in there, no problem. But yeah, generally speaking, need to see you more on the show and in the chat. I think that's all I got. As far as like stuff to cover today.
Yeah, I got a few things right quick. And I want to bring up, pump, but let me go through Robinhood Eco because I remember we talked the other weekend about like what would you stack on a dip. Index being one of those. This got down to sub 6 mil. I think that's the exact number I was talking about. It's
Tick that bottom.
Tick the bottom. Pawns bounced really nicely as well. This was the zone I was waiting for, slightly lower. So it was, it got, a tick or two off, but that's up really nicely. We mentioned VEX would be an interesting one for the AI trade. This is starting to get interesting now. Now with the price dip. Excuse me. Outside of this, yeah, kind of just wanted to look at that real quick. Now with Pump Fun, we did bottom tick Pump Fun, of course, and they did have unlocks recently. The looming unlocks are like a big fear for a lot of people. We specifically mentioned this is probably going to be a bullish unlock. But with this said, clear market shift. Look at the historical chart for Pump Fun here. What do you notice differently? So again, we called it out at the very bottom. And then, if you wanted to do the TA here, like we've been calling this out from a fundamental side and a technical side for a long time now, but you can clearly see the trend has shifted from sellers in control. Look at the spreads on these moves, right? The spreads are like basically look at the candle, start of the candle to end of the candle. Look how big it is. Big spreads to the downside. Clearly suggests that sellers are in control here, right? When the spreads were to the upside, clearly buyers were in control. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this. Sellers were in control. Look at the legs. This leg was longer than this leg. This leg was longer than the previous leg. So what we're seeing is, firstly, we want to see these legs start getting shorter to show a seller exhaustion. What starts happening here? This leg is shorter. Spreads are more compressed, right? Again, look at candle to candle here versus these candles. So compressed spreads, right, equals, less sellers, more exhausted sellers. And we're also seeing that the legs are not reaching. What is going on? The legs are not reaching as far down as they used to. Okay, so sellers are clearly getting exhausted. You can see the rounding out of the bottom happening. We did get this final dip below down here, of course, coinciding with price to earnings being extremely compressed at these levels, correlating with, sentiment in Solana just being terrible. There was a lot of signals here. And then, of course, from a technical perspective, it just was a beautiful test and spring here, which led to our sign of strength, right? Change in trend. And now we're seeing, if you have a downtrend, completely broken, right? You have a jump of this creek here. If you want to do a longer schematic here in time frame, right, we do have a jump of this creek. So pump fund TA side looking great, strength looking great, revenues looking great. Crypto Jones said, if the pump ego is dead, how is it doing so well? I think you have to kind of factor in a few things here. Obviously, revenues are great. They flipped Hyperliquid in terms of revenues for the week. And with that being said, I think a lot of their money came from pre-bond tokens and all of the action going on there. But of course, they have all these legacy coins leaving a tail end effect. So pump funds revenues are great. I think some of this is volume bots, but who cares how they get it as long as they're getting it? People say their volume is manipulated. Again, they're burning 50%, so it would be unprofitable to do that. So with that being said, I think it's legitimate. Everything looks good. No more token overhang. We know the schedule. Tokens are vesting and unlocking as we speak. But yeah, pump looks good. So that's my take. Let's keep Discord under 1K. Yeah. So
Low key, I'm trying to keep it under 500. We have a few like stragglers. Like I have like some personal people like in my DMs that again like crack trenchers that they obviously know what they're doing. They know how to trade and things of that nature. So some of those people like I'll kind of like squeeze in like one here or there. There's Dom and Josh. No doubt they have great traders in their networks as well. But I'm overall just trying to keep it under 500. And here's the idea right now is we open up the Discord to the public again at some point, but we only give them access to the general chat, the MCG live section where it shows all of our clips and all that stuff, our stream schedule, stream notes, and then it gives them access to my journal. Because essentially, my journal will be sort of like me scraping our Discord and trading based off of like what we find in our Discord and or what I find on my own, which I will then share with the Discord anyway. And you guys can you guys can either tell me I'm stupid for buying it and help me refine my thesis or whatever, right? Like, so a preview of the private side of the Discord that us, the 500 and below have, they'll be able to kind of see that through my journal. Now, with them having access to that, they would then have to just be involved, be engaged, like stuff, share stuff. There's going to be like you need to be in the Discord for this amount of time, and then you would just then earn your way to a status where you have access to all the other channels, like the Perps channel or the Trenching channel, where many of us chill at. We even have a voice chat in there now. So maybe I would even give some of these folks access to the voice chat, and maybe they can come in, and maybe they can't talk yet. Maybe they'll just listen to what we say, and then eventually, again, as they work their way up, they can. But again, it just helps to eliminate a lot of the noise, man. I just don't want people coming in there. We've had some people come in there. People try to scam, send links. Just again, it's been mostly a really good experience. But I'm just trying to make sure that no one comes in trying to scam the Discord, because I think that's just not going to be, it's just not going to be good for any of us.
Yeah, there's like two sides to it, Crypto Jones. We want to keep it low and high signal, and the quality is going to rise to the top, and that's what's going to get you in those more private channels, I guess you could say, and you'll get the special badge or whatever. And of course, you guys will have access to all the public channels as well, like the private guys. But with that being said, like also, it's a very important business mode for us to make sure we have large channels, right? For us as a network, selling to sponsors or, being able to offer things to a group of 1,000 plus, extremely active, actionable traders is like a huge value add. So there's like a couple sides to it. And it's a huge value add for the Discord too. Like what can we bring in there? What kind of people can we get intakes into the Discord who can provide value? So we want to keep it open to everyone, but also limit it to where the quality rises to the top. And there are those private channels that only the best of the best get access to. So there's a lot of angles to it. Chill's doing great.
Yeah, and I'll also little sauce for some of you guys. I'll also be trying to add some stuff to help you. I want to create a server where everything you need is right there in the server. Low-key on my left curve kind of vibe. I want to just offer like news. You can get all your news there. Maybe some some notable wallets are tracked, or maybe there's a summary of the timeline. There's a few of us in there that are building certain things. A couple of us are building some agents. I know Pepe, our faithful YouTube watcher, Pepe, he's building an AI agent in the Discord as well that trades on the TradFi side, and actually has I believe, Pepe, if I'm not mistaken, you've won a hackathon or something. Yeah, so yeah, you're number one in like a trading competition or a hackathon, and apparently this particular agent that you're building is much better than the one that won. So, you know, stuff like that. Like I want to build out like an AI agent that can help us research stuff. So little things like that, but obviously there's costs involved, right? There's API costs, there's all this other stuff that we have to worry about. So
That
still
could be
working on
another
that
cool
stuff.
thing, bro. Like, we could make Discord open to the public. Just, man, I don't, if you guys remember the NFT days, one thing NFTs did really well, is they could rally a community. And so they
Mhm.
coming in their Discord to earn NFTs, and the people in Discord were creating them stickers, creating proprietary technology, contributing in some way. And that's like another interesting, angle. We open it up to everyone. If you want to get access to the private channels, all the cool tech, like just maybe contribute. It's like it takes a village is like the corny thing everyone says, right? But it really does take a village, and we have so many people and so many resources in terms of like human capital. Everyone's good at their own thing, and so like if someone can build a cool feature for the Discord or provide value in that way, and we have 100 guys, 1,000 guys doing that, it's gonna be a very like powerful thing. So.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, we're still working things out with the Discord. Like it's not going to be this like ivory tower, like, oh my God, you can never get access. Like it's not going to be like that. We're going to try to get as many people in as possible. But at the same time, we just want to make sure that we're as thoughtful about this as we can be. Make sure that value can still be scraped from the Discord, right? For all of our active members. We just want to make it valuable for everyone at every stage. So yeah, and it's all free, right? It's all free. So you know what I'm saying? Like you guys get to enjoy that as well. Oh, dude, Crypto Jones, work a token into the whole thing. Costs could be covered by trading fees. Token. Oh man.
In theory, it sounds great.
When you launch a token, it just gets so confusing, man. I don't want to open myself up to like, oh my God, you bundled and dumped and da 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 da. Like I don't want to, because information gets. Take it from me, I can see I have more launches under my belt than I actually like. I've seen more launches happen, like coordinated launches where people are like, "Oh, we're gonna launch a project, blah 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 blah," and none of them go well. Information gets leaked, people snipe, the team, although they had good intentions, they get blamed, blah blah blah, and it's just this. I can't do it, man.
Tokens are difficult, man.
Shout out to Pepe real quick. Yes, won the prize fights tournament for trading AI. Next on my list is building that AI agent for the Discord, so we can give it a link to give us a quick overview of what the token does. My freaking goat right there. Love that. Love that.
All right, we got to stop talking about Discord, bro, because we're going to have like a million people in line if we keep talking about it.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. No link for now. We'll let you know in the future when there is.
This tokens get tricky, bro. We've thought about it. We've gotten offered like large grants of money, and look, we've
to launch
the token.
Yeah, no.
Trust me, it's a tempting offer. It's really got to make sense, and like creator coins don't work, and even access. Like if you want access, something that's going to gain access, NFTs are better for that.
Ooh, do a Futardio launch. Now that right there, big dog, is compelling. Okay.
A Futardio launch would be compelling if we can, again, like not make it a meme or a creator coin. Like if we can tie in, and again, we're working on products. Of course, we have a goated team of people working on product in the back end. There's so much going on with MCG, guys. Like it's a lot.
We're really trying to cook, bro.
But if we could tie in something, because we know tokens, and you need a token for Futardio to do well, you need a token that's got time in the market, making money, and actually has found product market fit to some capacity. So if we're gonna do a token ever, And I would say if you see a token MCG token, don't bid it. It's a scam. But if we're gonna ever do a token, it would be a token that is paired directly to a business operation that we have running. So at least holders could see upside in something there. Yeah, creator coins don't work. We know that.
Yeah,
And
I think that makes the most sense, to be honest.
yeah. But if we were to launch a coin, it would almost 100% be through like a MetaDAO or a Bedrock structuring. Yeah, it would be like company ownership. That's all we preach about. We're not like we can't launch a meme coin. We could never.
Discord access, trading bots, AI research tools. You have products.
Yeah.
Very, very compelling. Look, we'll think about it. We'll think about it, Crypto Jones. We'll take it. We'll take this back. We'll talk. I mean, look, to be honest, I doubt we'll do a launch, at least nothing in the near future. But maybe at some point down the line, because this Discord is like it's transforming into a very nice community in there. Looks really, it feels really good. Good vibes always. The trading bots and stuff like that. I have to see. All right, what bots do we have? Pepe just built this, like, I think 2 weeks ago, and I might even. I know Pepe. We're gonna talk. So maybe like when we talk and stuff, there's probably gonna be other like features and stuff that we can add to it. There's another guy that he launched on Pump Fund to try to get like some exposure, but he like is cracked at building agents and Discord bots and wallet tracking tools and stuff like that. But he was like super expensive for no reason, and like it was just really kind of hard to like work. Yeah, it was hard to justify and work with him. So like there's a lot here. So if we do a launch, maybe it's sometime like in the further away future. But for now, we're just kind of like in builder crafting mode. Like we got the clay in our hands and we're the potter trying to like, build this into something, and it's early stages still. So we'll see how it what form it takes.
There's certainly an opportunity in Crypto Jones, and that's what we want to hang our hats on. There's an opportunity. There's lots of opportunities. And there's no bounds on the opportunity MCG has. When it comes to a relationship standpoint, we have relationships with everyone important in crypto, and we have great builders, great communities. Yeah, everything's on the table, and that's what it comes down to. Now, if someone wants to throw us a couple $100,000 or whatever to really build some stuff out and take it to market, our DMs are open. Yeah, Pepe, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. You're the GOAT, man. Love it.
My
God. All right, we got to get off of here, man. BioLM, Abe, you mentioned, is looking good. I'm frankly shocked this is holding up so well, but this chart is like looking really good.
They got a nice community over there. I got to give Buddy credit. Got a nice little community formed over there. They're doing well. So excited to see what comes next. Still very early stage for the tech, but I'm hearing that, this partnership and stuff that they have with like NVIDIA and stuff, it's more than just like your surface level, NVIDIA level
Inception program.
Yeah, I'm hearing that it's more than that. So I'm excited to see, exactly what they build out here over the next, weeks and months.
So NVIDIA Inception program, son or thought daughter, chill.
Wait, say that again. Oh my God.
If you had to have one, would you rather have an NVIDIA Inception program son or thought daughter?
Thought daughter.
Oh my gosh.
JK. No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
We're
man.
taking the Inception program.
I have to. Yeah, I can't do the daughter thing. I just, oh my God, that'd break my heart.
What about X Money, bro? I'm not sure if you guys are, not everyone got it like me, but I got a special offer to join X Money. They topped me off $25. So I'm on X Money, bro. Looks cool, looks clean. 6% APY is what I saw there too. Not so bad. What do we think about this, bro? Also, I saw someone tweet this out. Conspiracy theorists say BankerBot gets shut down as soon as X Money starts to really roll out. Conspiracy theorists will say BankerBot allowed you to send money to someone on X directly from like a command. Competition?
Wait. So what does all right? So explain the overlap there. What does X Money do that Banker does? Send money over X?
Well, Banker specifically, like if I have tokens or whatever, I can say Yeah, I mean it's just X natural language prompts, and an agent goes and executes stuff. So send chill TRD $10. It'll just send it to you, and it'll like send it to a wallet that you can get access to. I don't know all the details. I've actually never really used it, but conspiracy theorists will say X felt threatened.
Very, very interesting.
Hey man, X. I gotta watch what I say here. Our show's on X. If I say something wrong here, we could be kaput. But very interesting as well that TVPN, man, as soon as they got bought out by a competitor of Grok, as soon as OpenAI bought TVPN, I haven't seen them at all in my feed.
Same. Same. I was wondering
The art of war.
same thing. All right, y'all.
What do you think? X Money? I mean, X Money could be a really cool onboarding, and I wonder if it's gonna have crypto rails built into it, because the ticker feature is super cool. I think that was
Seems like a natural fit.
Yeah. But it looks cool. Up to 6% APY, 3% cashback on eligible purchases with X card. I mean, that's pretty good. Everyone's doing this neobank thing. Security is the core of X Money. Your money account is secured with passkeys for safe and fast authentication. Set custom limits and require authentication for the transactions you choose. Every card FCI insured up to 10 million. Yeah. I don't know. X Money is kind of sick, bro.
Yeah, no, I gotta give them credit. It's a solid product. I think they've seen how many iterations of banking products built in crypto on or through X Rails, on X Rails, connecting people on X and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like it's just a natural thing for them to do if they own the platform, to create a solution themselves.
It really does seem like X is trying to become like a bit of an everything app, right? They want to do banking, they want to do social, they want to.
Elon said that's what he's doing. Elon said it. Yeah, he said he wants everyone. He wants it to be an everything app: AI, banking, tipping, streaming. Like he said, he wants someone to be able to come on X and literally be able to do and live their whole life. And he talked about the financialized world. He said it could be like it could be the monetary layer for a parallel economy, is kind of like the vibe that the vibes of what he said, the TLDR. And he said X is going to power the ability for people to be able to do banking, pay bills, and so he wants it to be like an everything app for sure.
Should be.
Shout out to boy.
I like super apps. Lots of them just aren't done well. All right. We outie?
Yeah, let me share sketch for rest of the week, and then we dip. Here's the schedule. Let me share my screen with you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show, man. Hopefully you guys enjoying the alpha digging that we do here. Here is my screen. Bam. So here's the schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, today we interviewed Order Trade. Really great protocol from what we understand. And we also interviewed Corey from PO Systems. Solid project. A lot of alpha that we got from there. So if you want to watch that, go ahead and rewind that. Yeah, that segment is probably one to pay attention to the most. Tuesday, tomorrow, we have Arrow Finance coming on. That one's gonna be an interesting one. I didn't realize that we had them coming on the stream tomorrow, but
interesting one, because they're still at like a $2 million valuation, but it clearly looked bundled or something. Like we got to get what's going on there.
I'm honestly not sure. I had this one on the research list, and I was actually like kind of bullish on this one from just the surface level digging that I had, but I didn't
they brought on a really good advisor or something.
That's what got me interested. That advisor,
but the entire team was Anon. Like I couldn't find anything on the team, but they brought on an advisor. It was this was the leader on Robinhood for a while, like the leading utility project on Robinhood.
Yep.
Clearly bundled though. I mean, that's what people are saying. It's nuked. So why? I don't know. We're gonna try to get the full scoop for you guys. We're not gonna take it easy.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to hammer that one. We got Trade on GTR as well coming on tomorrow. That's another one It was a recent launch. Was doing really good straight up off the launch. Was doing really good and kind of pulled back. So is it an opportunity or is it not? So find out tomorrow at 1:15. But really, honestly, solid projects on all week. Looking forward to tomorrow's stream. Today, you guys got a lot of alpha, so hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'll be sleuthing over there for a little bit. And a little update for the Discord as well. We're probably going to start doing voice chats in there at some point soon.
That's the biggest alpha ever. If you guys are trenching, and by the way, with this new Pump Fund update, it seems like trenching is more, at least on Solana, more prevalent than ever because they're taking the liquidity that was once lost in bonding curves and re-injecting it for the first 5 minutes after a token launches. So it almost seems like if you're second TXing bonding curve trades that graduate, like very hard to have downside in these. But yeah, alpha is VCs, bro. If you're in the VC, you are going to get streamlined. When I made the most money in my life trading, when I was trenching, it was sitting on VCs with people and live DDing everything that launched and modded together at the same time. Fantastic. Biggest edge you can have, hands down. A cards update on Wednesday would be great. Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could do that. Actually, Crypto Jones, funny you say that. I actually track their stats every day on Blockworks, and tokens going down right now quickly, but revenue is looking good. I think they did 2.4 million last week in revenue. So, yeah, maybe I'll reach out. I'll reach out to the cards team. Good suggest. Good comms. All right.
All right, boys. Well, that's the show for today. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be live tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. If you enjoyed this, you're still here. We'll do this every single day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We're here digging into the alpha, getting in. So you want to go to @MCG Live, hit the follow button, scroll down. Thank you so much for 13.1K, about to be 13.2. About to be 13.2. That's crazy on mute, by the way, Dom.
Let's crack it today.
Let's crack it. Yeah, dude, let's crack it today. There's 883 of us in here, almost 900 of us. Real quick, let's just all go down. Number one, make sure we're all following the MCG account. We're all here, almost 900 of us. Let's get 13 of y'all. Follow us. Let's get to 13.2K. That's number one. Number two, just go ahead and hit like and RT on our pinned tweet. And just tell a homie to follow. And if they join the stream, they'll see that we're ending the stream. Just tell them rewind. Watch the PO interview. Watch our Robinhood ecosystem breakdown afterward. Tell them watch the rant. Tell them watch us talk about feet picks in the Discord. Tell them just to watch, okay? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. The feet picks are awesome. Okay. All right. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'll see you on the timeline. And I'll see you in the Discord. Deuces, fellas. Oh my.